All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm. You're all right.
That was a rush. Welcome, everybody. We are live now. Thank you for joining us. We
Good
appreciate
morning.
it. Good morning, good morning. I always think of that one line.
Stop.
I always think of that one line.
We need to come up with a different memory for you.
Who died and put you in charge of what kind of morning it is? All right, I am settling in.
Why are you so low?
Kind of just chilling.
Like, you're like...
This is my regular kind of posture. I've got my other desk over there at the right height to where I can pull right up to where these like hit the bottom of the desk, and then I lean back and it's just perfect. That's why I'm editing. So yeah, it works out. It works out well. Concurrent viewers, we might not have a lot of viewers here now today, folks, because I forgot to schedule it.
Oops,
so
sorry.
People have not known for a couple days now that we were doing this. It's our normal time, but I usually schedule
we didn't
things.
schedule it. So, sorry about that. But
we
we'll...
didn't schedule things, but it
oh, well,
is
we
what
are
it
still
is.
here, whether you are or not.
Yep,
That's
yep,
the
yep.
key.
That's the whole thing. So the Whoopsick is here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Our Polish contingent has arrived.
Yes.
So that's very cool. Thank you for being here, Whoop. Appreciate it.
We are grateful.
This week has been somewhat of a whirlwind. Like, I mean, that's with Monday being a holiday. And it's like...
I was very grateful that Thursday was my last day off. I was like, I'm ready for Friday, so I'm grateful. I made it, well, so I only made it Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at work. Monday we were closed. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday I worked, and I was ready to be done.
I guess that was the way it was supposed to be. Always a pleasure, the Whoop6 says. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Yeah, no, I mean, but we've just been doing a lot of stuff all week. That's the thing. Revenant 2023. Hey, Slam and Sammy and Jessie, good to see you.
Good morning.
Slam and Sammy. That's a big throwback to a couple of different things. You used to call me that when I was back with the Dice Tower, but it came from me being a Cubs fan and Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa's nickname was Slam and Sammy. So they just kind of carried that over.
That's funny.
It's pretty funny, but yeah, Sammy Sosa. Back when juicing was okay. Not really. It wasn't okay, but they still did it. Him and Mark McGuire both.
I got caught both.
No, I don't think they got caught necessarily. It's just that they were taking, if I'm remembering correctly, and maybe I'm not remembering correctly, they were taking legal
Steroids.
things.
Yeah.
That were muscle
Prednisone.
enhancers. They weren't like juicing up with like
No, I
IVs
got it,
and all
yeah.
that other kind of stuff, but they were taking enhancers.
Yeah.
And back when that was, I don't think that's okay now. You can take other things. Steroids have always been bad.
Right.
But yeah, that was an interesting year to watch that home run race between McGuire and Sosa. And there was another guy in there that was kind of that was close, but he was a distant third.
Was it Jeter?
No, I don't know who it was. Probably not, but I don't know. Blake Cavaney, who is your pick for the College Football National Championship?
First off, we would need to know who's in it.
Well, I know Alabama isn't in it. Alabama got beat by Michigan. And we watched like half of the game
University of Washington.
for UW and I don't remember.
Your team. It was your team.
Oh, University of Texas. We don't know who won that. Let's check that, and then we can talk. They'll probably tell us by the time I got
Well, I mean, I don't know who's in it.
College football.
But
national
my school was not.
championship.
So that's all I
Oh
know.
yeah, well, believe me, if
If Eastern had been in it, heck yes, we'd be talking a different game. But
BWU is in there,
I'd be wearing my red all day, all day.
I don't need to know anything except who is playing the game. You
Oh,
stupid
look, you can buy
ticket
tickets.
masters. Yeah, I'm not buying tickets for that thing. That's for sure.
And type in who is. Like,
No, that's right. Oh my gosh, people. Matchup. Oh, UW.
well, then I guess I'll go UW.
I refuse. I refuse to root for the University of Washington.
I don't think Daphne's going to end up at UW.
Refuse. Like, hard
Really?
no.
Well,
hard pass. Hard
don't
pass.
blame the
I will
university.
not. I'm not blaming anything. I will not root for the
UW.
University of Washington. And the reason I will not, partially, is because a former Bear is at the head of the University of Michigan. Jim
so you're going to root for
Harbaugh.
Michigan.
Jim Harbaugh. John Harbaugh is his brother.
But
I
that
believe
doesn't
is
mean
also
why
a
you
coach.
would not vote for the UW.
Oh, it absolutely does. Absolutely does. Jim Harbaugh is coach of Michigan. He's got my vote. Period. Hands down. Full
What
stop.
if it wasn't him coaching? Would you convert and root for Washington, go Washington?
Negative.
No, why?
I don't know. I like the Cougs better than Washington.
I do like the
the
Cougs
University of Washington. I like their although I do like their logo better. I like the Huskies.
Yeah.
I like that mascot better than a cougar.
Right.
But I think a cougar is more, in my opinion, a cougar is more Washington State than Huskies
Right. We don't have Huskies in the
because
wild.
they're Alaskan Huskies.
Right. We don't have Huskies in the wild. We do have Cougars.
So, but yeah, you got cougars all over the place. We have cougars wandering
In
into
this
our
valley.
neighborhood every
Yeah,
once in a while.
Yeah, in
But-
this area.
Yeah, now I have nothing against the University of Washington. However, the University of Michigan has a former Bear at
All
the
right,
head.
I'm
so,
good with that.
At the head coach position. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to pick Michigan. U of M. Not Michigan State. And plus, my buddy Joe Stedman, he's a Michigan fan, so he's from Michigan.
Joe.
So we'll root for. They beat us. They beat Bama. So I'll give them I'll stick with them until they.
Can't make it anymore.
That's right.
I mean, I would love to see a Washington State team take it, but I just don't think that's going
I
to
heard it first time on Dice Tower. Revenant 2023 says
Slammy Sammy.
Slammin' Sammy. Yeah. Michigan and the Washington Huskies. Yep, I know a guy who's rooting for Michigan because he went to WSU, and he has to root against UW.
I mean, now that is a valid
valid.
reason.
That
is
is absolutely
literally
valid.
that's a valid reason.
You gotta go for whoever is playing against
Against
your
enemy.
arch
Yeah,
rivals.
yeah, absolutely. That makes
The
total
arch
sense.
rival of your alma mater. That is good.
As our kids get older, we're starting to talk the college talk.
Blake says so. If UW wins, we're gonna give them so much crap. My dad holds the opinion that if you live in a place, you should root for their sports teams.
See, I kind of
He
agree
also
with this.
doesn't understand how you can root for a team of a place you never lived. That is probably. Now, I don't know your dad, Blake. You'll have to tell me if your dad served in the military or had his career. That is the more. That's the more important part of this question. Was your dad a military person for his career?
How does that affect what your answer is?
Because I grew up in Texas.
Yes.
Now, I was born and raised in Texas, but by the age of, first of all, I was almost born in Korea.
Right.
My mom had complications and had to be medevaced back to the States.
Wow.
For those complications. I was almost, not Korea, Okinawa. I was almost born in Okinawa. But I don't know why I said Korea, because I usually,
Used to
never
live
mind.
in
Anyway, so I was almost born in Okinawa. I had to be medevac. My mom had to be medevac back for the pregnancy to be on the safe side of things. I was born in San Antonio, lived there until I was in first grade. So for a whopping, what, 6 years, I lived in Texas. Then we moved to Virginia, and was there for a few years. Moved back to Texas. My mom passed away. We moved to Germany. Then we moved to Mississippi. My dad retired. We moved to Alabama. I graduated from high school, moved back to Texas. Lived there for a few years, broke my leg, went back to Alabama to live with my dad until my leg healed. Went to Florida after my leg healed for college. From college, went to Korea. And from Korea, went to California. From California, went down to Florida. And from Florida, moved up here. So which one of those places? No, I'm not done yet. Which one of those places should I root for? Should I root for Texas? Should I root for Florida teams? Should I root for Alabama teams? How about when I lived in Virginia? Should I root for Virginia teams? See, here's the thing. I've never lived long enough in a place to be loyal to a singular group of teams. So you ask, why am I a Chicago fan? Because I've never lived there. Here's the answer. Okay, so the answer is, and Blake's probably answered me by now, he was in the Army for 4 years, but he was stationed in Germany. Okay, there you go. That's good. That's good. Thank him, please. And I mean this. Thank him for his service, because that does mean a lot. Here's the thing, though. I was never in a place long enough to where I could call those teams my own.
Right.
So when I was a kid, I was in Texas. Everybody and their mother and their mother's former roommate's cousin rooted for the Cowboys. So I was a Cowboys fan when I was a kid, because that's what everybody was rooting for, so that's what I did. My dad took us to a football game in Texas Stadium. Cowboys, Bears. I was at that game with my Cowboys jersey and paraphernalia, and from head to toe, the Bears walloped the Cowboys that particular game. I don't think they were having a particularly good year that year, but that they whooped the Cowboys. And from that day, I was so broken. I've been a Bears fan ever since. And my dad's been a Chicago fan ever since, because my dad grew up in Indianapolis, right outside Indianapolis, a little town called Anderson, and the closest teams were Chicago teams. Yeah. So those are the ones he followed as a kid, and I picked that up early in my childhood. When I started paying attention to college football, I was in high school, particularly my senior year in high school, 1992, back in the Gene Stallings era. And I was in high school in actually 4 different high schools. So again, this is giving you more of this idea of I've never really been in one place long enough to consider any of those teams my own. I spent each of my high school years in a different high school. Ocean Springs, Mississippi for my freshman year. Sophomore was in Biloxi, Mississippi. Junior was in Pascagoula High School in Pascagoula, Mississippi. And my senior year was in Mobile, Alabama, Murphy High School. So each of those 4 years, so that just, I'm kind of like a gypsy. So I don't have a team of my own. So I was able to pick and choose who I wanted to root for. And the Bears were the only one that I really kind of inherited from my dad.
Nice.
The rest of the teams are my choice.
Right.
I am not beholden to my physical location.
I think the question was.
No, he said his dad holds the opinion that if you live in a place, you should root for their sports teams.
Right. But also, his dad holds the opinion that, or the question was originally, how can you be a fan of, like, let's say this.
I just explained that.
How could I be a fan? Let's say I was a fan of the Giants.
Sure. Which ones?
I don't know. New York.
Okay. Good. That's a good team.
Thanks. Let's say I said I'm a fan of the
team,
New York
that's
Giants.
That's a good pick.
I've never lived in New York. I have no connection. I have no ties. My kids didn't go to college there.
Right.
I have... So why would I be a New York fan from here?
Well, I explained why I'm a Bears fan.
Yes.
And I explained how that happened. I also explained why I'm a Bama fan.
Right. Because you inherit some of these. I get
Correct.
that. But I haven't inherited the Seahawks thing.
I have exactly.
Actually, you know what's funny? My dad calls himself a big old Seahawks fan. My dad couldn't care crap about Seahawks football until about 6 years ago when Claire and Gary started watching Seahawks games right next to them. And since then, my dad has been like Seahawks all the way. But the entire time growing up, living in Ellensburg, my dad didn't have a single Seahawks thing. He didn't watch a single Seahawks game. He didn't even care who the Seahawks were. He didn't, like, maybe we would watch a game if it came on Cairo. You know, we lived in Ellensburg. We didn't get all the channels. We got Cairo.
Yeah.
But he didn't care. We moved to Alaska. There's no team in Alaska.
I refuse to be a fair weather fan.
But he came back, no inkling. We lived in Bellevue. He wasn't a Seahawks fan until he moved to Woodby Island.
I'm not a bandwagoner.
And Claire and Gary across the street started having these big Seahawks parties. And these big, Strider, you're going to knock over the camera.
Actually, he could very easily do that.
Can you kind of stop? So now my dad's this Seahawks fan.
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't know. So I didn't inherit the Seahawks from my dad. But if I were to inherit anything from my parents, I would go University of Washington or WSU. My dad went to WSU. My mom went to University of Washington. I would inherit their college alma mater before I would inherit their Seahawks.
Yeah, I also refuse to be a fair weather fan. So,
Definitely.
you know,
No.
the Kraken even. Hockey's my favorite sport. The Kraken have got to put in their dues. I know they went real deep into the playoffs. I think they didn't win the cup, but they went real deep into the playoffs, and they became very popular over here. I was tempted to buy some Seattle Kraken gear because it's new stuff and all that kind of thing, but I didn't because I'm not going to be a fair weather fan. I'm not going to just pop in and say, yay, I'm a fan of the local team, and I haven't ever been ever in the history of ever. I'm not going to do that. I mean, I'll watch it and I'll enjoy it and I'll let people enjoy it. I'm not going to be that, curmudgeon that sits there and says, well, they're not part of the original five, so they're not a real hockey team. I'm not going to do that, But, that's just the way it is. So that's my very probably exasperated take on why I'm a Chicago fan. People ask me that all the time, and they give me the face.
Right, why are
You're from Texas and you're a Chicago fan? What's wrong with you? Did you get dropped on your head when you were a kid? What's wrong with you? That kind of thing. So, yeah, I've got a little bit of moxie as far as when people ask me that question, because I've had to give an answer for that for a while, and I get your dad's Blake. I get your dad's ideology. His opinion is valid because if you've grown up in the same place and that's what you do, you root for the teams that.
But I would also say it kind of goes a little farther. If you now live in Washington,
nope.
Sorry, but you should just.
No, see, that's the thing. You have to root for the. No, I don't. I do not have to root for the local teams because I never have.
Right.
It's fake to root for local teams, for teams that you know. Now, if they win, am I going to be, well, I'm going to be pissed off for the rest of the day? No, I'm not. I don't care if they win or lose. Mm-hmm. And if they win, fine and dandy. Have your day in the sun. I don't care. I'm not going to root for them, though, just because I live here.
Well, I think sports affiliations or sports fan choice, like who you're rooting for. I don't know the words for that.
For example, the Wild.
Yeah, this is exactly where I'm going.
Perfect.
I think are also based on where you are and what you're doing in your life.
Yeah.
There was a time in my life where I was a big old Sounders fan, Seattle Sounders fan. I had season tickets. I went to every game. I spent money on Sounders gear. I knew the players. I had pictures, all of that. Well, now I'm over here, and I hate to say it, but I mean, yay Sounders, go Sounders. I will love the Sounders, but I would rather watch the Wild. So
here, let me catch up on some of the stuff here.
Yes,
you don't
please.
have to be loyal to a singular group of teams, though. That is absolutely what I'm saying, Blake. Let me see what he says further above that. David Supina says that his favorite team is the Edmonton Oilers. My second favorite is whoever is playing the godless Calgary Flames. So that's the rivalry.
there's the
Calgary and
rivalry. Yep,
Edmonton,
yep,
they're in Alberta, so you get it. And I'm very much that way with Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's playing Auburn, I will root against Auburn, whomever it is, because they're the arch rival of Bama. So I'll do that. And watching the Iron Bowl is something that if I can get to it and it's televised way up here in the corner of the world, then I'll watch it. But so I totally get that. Blake says, my dad has lived in New York, Missouri, and Washington. You don't have to be loyal to a singular group of teams, though. Revenant 2023 says New Jersey Devils till Martin Brodeur left.
right.
Then
There's a lot about
was
that.
St.
I like
Louis
something
Blues,
until
never
somebody
lived in
leaves.
either area.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, Vanessa's here. Vanessa, hello. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Blake, Revenant 2023 said, I saw all 3 cup wins on TV for New Jersey. That's
Nice.
cool. Martin Brodeur was an amazing goalie. Loved watching Martin Brodeur play. Him, probably Brodeur and Eddie the Eagle, Eddie Belfour. Those are probably my 2 favorite goalies to watch play. I just enjoyed both of them. Watching both of them. So, Blake says, I find I get more excitement not rooting for one specific team. It means I can watch every game and find enjoyment from it. I don't have a disappointment if my team loses.
True.
That is absolutely true, and I totally get that. And you do not have to root for a singular team ever. But if you choose to, I'm going to go a step further, and you've already kind of agreed with me. You don't have to root for the team that is from the place in which you live. You don't have to do that. And he goes on a little bit further, and he says, my dad's thing, though, is he knows people that lived in Tacoma their entire life but don't root for any Seattle teams. That means they're probably not sports fans. They don't care about sports, so they're not going to root for any of those teams. There's a lot of people, especially in our industry, in the board game industry, who delightfully call all sports sport ball. And they do it, depending on the person. Some people, they just do it tongue-in-cheek. But they do it almost derisively, saying, oh, you're stupid for caring about sports. It's just sport ball. Who cares? Well, be careful. People in glass houses and all could say the same thing about board games. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just the personality of the person that enjoys sports, that they enjoy sports. So why would you derisively say something like that? Anyway.
I think one of the things that I love about sports is the same thing I love about board games. Is it's the people, it's the interaction,
Sure.
it's that. I'm a Wild fan because Sam's a Wild fan because my kids are a Wild fan because we live here, we can go, we can interact.
And here's the thing.
And I love those moments.
I'm a Wild fan because I'm a hockey fan.
Right.
And they are a local hockey team.
And they are just a group of really good kids and
they're a bunch of young kids trying to make their way in the profession that they want to succeed in, and they play with heart and passion.
They do,
and it's fun to watch them.
Fun.
Am I a Wild fan because I just adopted them? Yeah, kinda.
Kinda.
But it's because I'm a hockey fan. So if you know, the nearest team would have been the Ellensburg Cowpokes, then I would probably be an Ellensburg Cowpoke fan. But the nearest one is the Wenatchee Wild, so I'm a Wenatchee Wild fan. Now, have I ever been to a Seattle game? A Kraken? No. Would I go to a Seattle Kraken game? Yes. Even more so if the Blackhawks came to town and we could get over there. Absolutely. Now, would I be rooting for the Seattle if they're playing against the Blackhawks? Absolutely not. No, I'm not going to because Chicago is my team. Seattle isn't. But would I go to a Seattle game if it's not the Blackhawks? Sure. Why? Because it's hockey, not because it's the Kraken. So there's a difference there. So there's a lot of nuances. Anyway, David says this. Well, Vanessa said, I've only ever lived in Pennsylvania, never felt the need to root for other teams.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and she said, let's go Pens. So she's a Penguins fan. And so that's really cool. I would like to adopt an NFL team, David Spina says, but I will wait until I have ties to a particular place in the States.
Ties are a big thing for me,
and then pick their most hated rival to troll everyone.
Well, I guess you're picking Seattle for almost everybody.
So you're that guy that's never going to get invited to the
Super Bowl party.
To the Super Bowl party. Got it. Okay. Vanessa says, fun fact, Pittsburgh is the only city that has the same color scheme, black and gold, for all 3 professional sports teams.
I thought Seattle did. Because we have the blue and green for the Sounders, the blue and green for the Hawks, and the blue and green for the Kraken. But it's kind of blue and turquoise for Kraken.
Blue and green for the Seahawks, blue and green for the what?
Sounders.
The Sounders. The Mariners are
also blue and green.
Blue and green.
But the Kraken is like teal and blue.
It's a weird, it's a weird combination, but it's close.
But the 3 major teams were all blue and green.
But the Sonics don't.
We don't have the Sonics anymore, honey.
The Sonics are going?
Did like since 1990.
I knew that. I knew that. But even back in 1990, they weren't those colors.
I don't even know who
they
it
were
was.
like
It was
green.
like,
they were like maroon and green.
It was orangish and yeah.
I hate basketball, by the way. I hate it.
What was
there's
a
least
Sonics
favorite
guy. What is his name?
It is my least favorite sport by a country mile. I cannot stand basketball.
What was his name? I have to look it up.
Kraken is blue and red, not green.
It's like that turquoise.
There's some bluish greenish in their jerseys. I know that for sure. I know they have a navy blue as their kind of base color, but then they have those offsetting like a reddish and a bluish greenish tealish. Huh?
Detlef Schrempf. That's who it was.
Who?
Don't say it.
No, I was really asking who.
Detlef Schrempf. He was one of the Seattle Supersonics players.
That is a really...
That's like a German name, man.
He is a foreigner.
That being said, I met many of the Sonics during that time in the 90s. I was at Kia Arena. I was doing events. I had lots of connections there.
Yeah.
I worked for a lot of startups. We met a lot of people. And most of them were all just jerks, like actual jerks. But Detlef Schrempf, his daughter was at the school where I was helping with learning to read processes. I was teaching learning to read for kids that needed extra help.
Yeah.
And he'd come in, and I'd be sitting at my office manager desk at the front, you know, which is like this, right? And he'd come in, and it was like, hi. Because you're sitting, too. So when somebody 7 foot something is standing in front of you and you're sitting, it's literally like this.
Yeah, you're looking at the ceiling.
Yeah. And he would come in, and he was friendly and drop off his daughter. He was so nice. It was one of those moments that I was like, I like nice people. He was the only one I liked. All the rest are notoriously jerks on TV. They were jerks on... Seattle Sonics was known for being a jerky team.
David Spina says the Kraken need more top-end players, too many decent players, not enough elite ones. I think you can build your team around 1 or 2. You don't need that many elite players. It is a team sport. 1 or 2 people can... We were just talking about this the other day because the Wild have just
Traded 3.
Traded 3 of our top. Well, not our top. We traded one like second line D, and 2 of our starting lineup forwards. And we traded away Matt Savoy, and we traded away Connor Geeky, and we traded away Ashton Cumbie. Yeah. So, and those were 3 big. Now, Cumbie was a big, tall guy, but he wasn't our starting defense. Our starting defense, I really love both Sword and Prasovsky. And those are our big dogs for our D. I love Carter. Carter Prasovsky is so cool. He's such an entertainer.
He loves the limelight. He loves the spotlight.
Let me say this real quick. I am not one that is an advocate for fighting in the NHL. Right. I know it's part of it. But these big bench clears and all this other kind of stuff, I'm not a fan of all that. I like the sport. I don't necessarily like the fighting aspect of it. But Carter,
that being said,
Carter knows how to get the team fired up.
He knows how to get the team fired up. When there's a fight, he's usually in it. And he will lead the fight to center ice. Yeah. Wait till he's in center ice to drop the gloves and drop the helmet. Yeah. And then post up. Yeah. And then circle around center ice every time.
Well, not every time.
Not every time. But then they will fight. And they will do whatever. And during the fight, he is making the face, I'm going to kill you. You're going to die.
And as soon as it's over,
literally,
it's
the minute they break it up, he is
and he's like doing this to the crowd. He is like, definitely, are you not entertained? Yeah. That is Carter.
And it is fun. Yeah. All right.
But,
we got to talk games.
Anyway,
we've been talking sports.
I don't think you need you definitely need some elite players. I don't think you need a whole team of elite players. That's the LeBron James mentality, and I don't follow that at all. I think it's a team sport. It's a team sport, and it should stay a team sport. If you can't, you do need those guys though that are going to be the ones that people target when they're on the ice. You need those people, yes, but at the same time you need a good strong support, because that line has got to come off the ice. Yeah. And once that elite line comes off the ice, you've got to have good players backing up to keep that pressure going. But anyway,
keep going.
Keep going. Just because you haven't been a fan of the local team doesn't mean you can't be. I understand that.
I agree with that.
I understand you can't. It's a personal decision. It doesn't mean that you can't, but it's a personal decision that I make. Now, look. The longer I live here, the higher the likelihood that I will become a Kraken fan because I like hockey. Right. And I'll probably be able to go to more games over the span of years. But right now, I have no connection to the Kraken. They're a brand new team, which some may say, well, that's the perfect time to be. You should have been a fan since they began because you were living up here when they started. I get that. But I have no connection to Seattle. None whatsoever. None. So I don't have a reason. Wenatchee Wild, I have an absolute reason. We go to, sometimes 2 or 3 games a week.
This week.
Well, yeah. Star Wars night tonight. We're going to be doing that. So anyway, I understand what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you. But I'm just trying to explain why I do what I do. And I know it's weird.
Star Wars Hawaiian print shirt.
I'm going to. I just didn't do it today.
I don't know what I'm going to wear.
Let's see here. If you want to be a Kraken fan, then be one.
Absolutely.
If you want to be anything, be it. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying I don't have to root for the people, the teams where I live. I can pick and choose whoever I want. David Sapina, as an Oilers fan, I know the opposite problem really well. You kind of have to be an Oilers fan, I guess. What is your most anticipated game of this year? Twister 4815. That is a great question. And I have got the answer right here on the tip of my tongue. JT and I are going to record that video tomorrow.
And it'll be posted?
It'll be posted probably...
Thursday? Wednesday?
I'm going to say Friday.
Okay. He's not going to answer that, but it will be posted on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm working on a list for you guys, too.
She's going to be probably
We'll do it today, hopefully.
maybe today. We'll record it today or tomorrow. Her top 10 of 2023.
Sure.
Top 10 of 2023, and that'll be coming up here pretty soon as well. Ed Belfour, the guy who eliminated us from the first round of playoffs every year from 1999 to 2004. That's funny. Why is that eye twitch suddenly back?
That's awesome.
I will agree with you. He was probably not the best person to be playing against. He was a phenomenal goalie, and he was also a little spicy every once in a while. He speared a couple guys.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. He had a little spice. No, but they are sports fans. We know people that are major San Francisco 49ers fans, but have only ever lived in Tacoma.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? There's a lot of Washington people that are 49ers fans.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why is that, though?
I don't know, but that's actually a thing.
Why is that? That
would
no.
be-
Oh, that probably started because of people like David Sapina.
Right, who want to like the 49ers because they're the nemesis of Seattle.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
There are a lot of people
Because
in the
they
Seattle
just
area
enjoy being
that are the 49ers fans.
the other side.
Claire has switched.
I know, because her
Her
boyfriend.
boyfriend is a 49ers
boyfriend is a
fan.
49ers
so
fan.
she's now 49ers.
She jumped
So
ship.
I'm predicting my parents will switch
Yeah,
from
no.
the Seahawks to the 49ers because what they love about football is going over and rooting for whoever's Claire is rooting for.
No, your dad's going to stay a Seahawks
I
fan.
don't
Just so
know.
that, because your dad's the person.
My dad is quite obstinate.
Your
Dad,
dad
are you
is
watching?
No, he's not watching. He's in Mexico. Your dad is the person that will probably be the opposite, just to be the opposite.
Maybe.
So he will stay a Seahawks fan while Claire and her boyfriend root for the 49ers, so there can be that friendly tension in the room.
My dad and his brother have had a bet on the World Series game since they were like 7. And every year, it doesn't matter who's playing, it's whoever won last time gets to choose of the two teams in the...
Get to choose who they're going to root
Get
for,
to
and
choose
then the other
root
person
for,
roots for
and
the
the other
other one.
person for the other one.
That's a
and
cool thing.
every year since, well, so for probably 70 years, they have done this bet at the World Series game of baseball, and one will root for one and one will root for the other, and it's a $5 bet.
Spurs fan is here. Hello, Lewis.
That's funny.
Good
We
to
were
see
just
you.
talking about
Go for it. Painting is here. Hello. Good to see you too. Thank you, Fee. Let me see if
from
anybody
South
else
Africa.
has shown up. Bum, 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 bum.
How far is Seattle
There we
from
go.
us? About 3 hours by car.
Yep.
About.
Well, it's a little bit less than that.
To Seattle. Not
Yeah.
Linwood
I don't care about Linwood.
or Bothell or... I'd say it's about 3 hours.
Is Linwood where Weird Al is from? Or is he from Linwood, California?
I think he's in Linwood, California.
He seems like a person that would be from Seattle.
He's done a couple concerts up here at Seattle Zoo. We have a really good concert series at the zoo.
No, Weird Al playing... Whoa.
was
What are you doing?
Sorry.
Weird Al playing at the zoo fits. That's a huge fit. Let's see. David Spina, is the board game equivalent of sports ball dice cards? Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
dice
much.
cards. Sure.
I really don't. There was a game that used that recently that we played. No, we didn't use the cards. It was a game that JT brought over a while ago, and you could play it with
Yes.
cards that have
The dice
on
on
them.
it, yes.
And we were like, we can do that, or we can use
We can use
dice.
dice.
And
We can
like,
at least use
he
dice.
and I were both. We're going to use dice.
Yeah, we both dice.
So I can't remember what the game was though, but it was a recent one.
Yeah, I remember
Can't remember
that.
what it was. Why, Sam? San Antonio Spurs basketball is awesome. Yeah, well, here's the thing. When I lived in San Antonio, way
You
back
would
in the
watch the
day,
Spurs?
we went and watched the Spurs a lot. As a matter of fact, one of the kids that was in the school that I attended, that my aunt was a teacher of, was his
a-
mom was very good friends of the family, and she was the Spurs team nurse.
Nice.
So we went to Spurs games all the time.
Nice.
Got to meet George Gervin, the Iceman. Had George Gervin's poster on my wall as a kid. But there was a personal connection there.
Right.
It wasn't just because I was living there. There was a personal connection. So we used to go to Spurs games all the time back then. And I still, when David Robinson was a player, I followed the Spurs throughout all of those, even though, and again, basketball is my least favorite sport. Even when Michael Jordan was playing for the Bulls, I mean, it was cool being a Chicago fan at that point, and I was like, yeah, go Bulls. They're doing well. Go ahead. Didn't really care if they won or lost, but it was fun watching them because Michael Jordan was such a phenomenon. But I still followed the Spurs, even though I was a Bulls fan, because I liked David Robinson. And David Robinson was such a cool cat that I enjoyed playing with him. And I enjoyed how he rubbed off on Tim Duncan. And then Tim Duncan was a really good guy. So I followed the Spurs, but again, it's just from a distance. It was a major controversy, Blake said, for the Kraken not to have green.
Yeah.
In their jerseys.
Right.
It's a greenish. It's a
teal.
Aquamarine. See, because it's marine. That's why. It's okay. Who cares? It's sport puck. You didn't laugh at that.
I didn't.
It
was okay.
That wasn't funny.
It was sport ball, sport puck. I got it. It was good. There you go.
Spurs fan says Cowboys, Spurs, Astros, Rangers for me. Wow.
That's all Texas.
Yeah. Well, really?
I
didn't know that.
You should be proud of me for recognizing that.
He said.
I know, he said.
No hockey team yet for me.
Well, there's always the Wenatchee Wild.
The San Antonio did have a minor league hockey team for a while, and I did go to a couple. I can't even remember their names. The Rattlers. I want to say the San Antonio Rattlers was, but I don't recall. Maybe it wasn't the Rattlers. Anyway, they did have a minor league hockey team for a while. And then you've got the Stars, Dallas Stars up in Dallas, and I think that's it. And I followed the Stars for a while because after Chicago let go at Eddie Belfour, Dallas picked him up. He also played in Toronto for a while, so I followed him around and I rooted for those teams because I wanted to see him win. Didn't really care about the team. Not a basketball fan. Where is that? For either, which was hard in high school since the basketball team won states 2 years in a row. Yeah, I don't care about basketball. I couldn't even care less. Kraken official colors: deep sea blue, ice blue, boundless blue, showdown blue, and red. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 colors of blue and red.
Kraken. It's a sea monster. It should be blue.
Sure. He's got some kelp hanging off of him somewhere, though. The Kraken.
Oh, yeah.
So there should be some green in there.
Right, you'd think.
Let's see. NBA expansion soon for Seattle and Las Vegas. Yay.
All right. Keep reading.
I'm glad someone has the same opinion as me and my dad on the fighting in hockey. Yeah,
we don't really love that.
It's part of the game because that's how you protect your smaller players, and it's how you protect your elite players. Wayne Gretzky was untouchable when he was a player. If you hit Wayne Gretzky, the entire team was coming after you.
Yeah, right.
And that's a leveling factor because you have somebody whose playing style is not rough and tumble. He has to be protected. And so there is some of that. And usually when Carter is starting to fight, it's because the other team
went after one of our
little guys.
Yeah.
And Carter was like, oh no, not on my watch.
No, he doesn't. It's like...
Sword is the other way around.
Yeah.
He will get rough and tumble with you.
Yeah.
But he's also good enough to where he will just skate right around you.
Right.
and he's good enough with his passes and stick work that he can just take the puck away from you. He doesn't have to hit you.
Yeah.
But Carter's
our defender. Like if somebody is somebody else gets gone after, Carter will come after him.
But he's not a goon.
No.
He doesn't instigate it, but he will finish it. He is like the perennial traditional defensive player.
But
he has a wicked slap shot from the point, and he will knock your head off.
Yeah. Frequently, the whole stadium stands up to watch a fight. And Sam and I are like the only two sitting there going, all right, well, when can we get back to the game?
Well, it's fun. It's fun to watch because usually after the fight, they're both going, hey, that was pretty fun, thanks. Appreciate it.
Seriously, the moments after the fight, at least with most of our players, I don't know about the other players, and it is like watching these teenagers who live in our house with that moment of just pure elation. They're so lit up, you know.
Playoff hockey is the best, hands down. I absolutely agree with you. I've been watching highlights of the IIHF World Juniors that have been going on in Sweden. Really good hockey. Oh my goodness. We had it. Well, Connor Geeky, and he's probably internationally famous now because of that hit against the German player that everybody thought, well, a lot of people thought was a really dirty hit, but it was super clean. It's just the German was a really small
Teeny
dude.
little guy.
And Connor is this like 6'7".
He literally flattened him.
He just flattened him. But anyway, and Matt Savoy was playing for Buffalo at the beginning of the year this year in the NHL. And then he got sent down, but we've traded them both away now. But anyway, those were both guys that we got to watch on our ice. And that's another cool thing.
It's like a field, like a start field.
So anyway,
right. Carry on.
With that, maybe we should move on to games.
I've been trying to get him back on topic. Sorry, you guys started talking Hagen.
It says the chat has stalled a bit, and then I did read. Oh, never mind. I just needed to refresh my chat. Not sure why it does that. Yeah. Spurs fan, you need 2 or 3 superstars, then rest of the team are good role players for a team to win championships. Yeah, that's what I believe. Good morning. D.D. O'Brien is here. Good to see you, Mr. O'Brien. Thank you for being here. D.D. O'Brien says he's 20 minutes from Seattle. Nick Hayes, howdy from Alabama. Where are you in Alabama? I used to live in Mobile, and my dad was in, I can't remember. There's an air base north, and I can't remember where that was, but came real close to almost going to Samson University in Alabama, but it was too expensive. Bill Nye the Science Guy lives on Mercer Island in Washington.
Yes, he does.
Wow. I'm not a Bill Nye fan.
I thought he was. I know there's this whole thing about how they hate him now.
I don't hate him. Never have hated him. It's just that just don't.
He did what he did well, and that's it.
Did you know he's not a doctor though?
Yeah.
He doesn't have a doctorate.
Right.
In science at all. He has like a bachelor's degree in science. Right. That's it. Nothing else.
But he was a good teacher. He could explain it in common terms.
Yeah, but everybody views him as like an expert in science. But he doesn't, I have opinions, but it's okay. He seems like a nice person. I'll put it that way.
I don't know.
He seems like a nice person, but just because Bill Nye lives in Mercer Island doesn't. Who?
Who cares? I used to work at the golf course there in Mercer Island. Those are some rich people.
You got that right. Let's see. I'm about a week's drive from Seattle.
A week's drive. Woo, bit of a jaunt there, Vanessa.
That's just a wee bit of a commute.
You could plan on coming, and we'll have a game night.
Let's see. Nick Hayes says, do you own a Nintendo Switch? And if so, have you tried any of the digital board games? Any recommendations? We just got on one and are still learning it. No. My son Aiden has a Switch.
I don't even know if he still has it anymore.
No, he does. It's in his room. I've seen it, but he doesn't play it very often. He used to play it like all the time, but he's much more on his computer and on the Xbox nowadays. But Yeah, no, we don't own a Nintendo Switch, so I couldn't help you out there at all. Sorry. Spurs fan, wow, I never met George Gervin. Lucky you, Iceman is my sports hero as a kid. Steam also has digital board games like Blood Rage. Yes, that is correct. I have played some Steam games. I have not played Blood Rage. Nick Hayes says, I like Robinson, Jordan, and Magic were awesome too, but Larry Bird was my all-time favorite player. He was iconic. I watched a short video about what other players said about Larry Bird, and they were talking about how Larry Bird would tell you how he was going to beat you and then do it.
Oh, that's cool.
They like multiple players that played against Bird said that he did that all the time.
He said, I'm gonna do
this and I'm gonna do this and you're not gonna be able to stop me. And then he would do exactly that and they wouldn't be able to stop
That's
him.
cool.
That's funny. Let's see here. Gotta head out, Blake. See you.
Bye, Blake.
Take care, buddy. Spurs fan, the San Antonio Rampage. I had the R right. And I actually had the RA right, but the rest of the... So I knew what I was talking about, but it had been so long. Anyway, Matthew Rose, I am in San Antonio. The Spurs are not doing well this year. Wemby was supposed to be our savior, but he needs more experience. But Spurs owned them, but sold the team. Oh, I see. San Antonio Rampage. They owned them, but sold the team. Got it. Do you own Trick Shot? Yes, I do. The hockey themed game. If you, I think you do, but don't remember. Yes, I do. Matter of fact, we might play that.
Let's do that.
Yeah, we might play that. Not right now, but we will.
I'm up for it right now. Get back on games.
Now follow Spurs, Wemby, Sammy. I'm trying to get through all the people that are talking here.
We love having a community.
He
That's
is a
really good for us.
follow Spurs, Wemby Sam. He is a good young man. I will get you to like Spurs basketball soon.
Nice.
Again, I will follow people.
I love
but
people moments.
Basketball, I just do not enjoy watching it.
Well, that was when I worked at this company and I was teaching reading. I became a Sonics fan only because of Detlef Shrimp. But the problem was the rest of the Sonics during that time, in the 90s, were a bunch of
reprehensible
jerk faces.
Yep.
And Detlef would drop off tickets for me, and it was a really genuine person. But then the rest of the Sonics during that time, it was hard because I kind of wanted to like the team because I had such a connection with this parent. And
just couldn't.
And I couldn't.
Spurs fan says, now I am a Dodgers fan.
See?
There's a reason why, though, because there used to be a minor league team in San Antonio called the San Antonio Dodgers.
Oh, that's funny.
They were part of the Dodgers farm program.
That's
funny. Back in the 1980s. And yes, I used to go to a lot of San Antonio Dodgers fans. They're now called the Missions.
I see.
I think they're called the Missions now, but that used to be the, you all right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's really itchy today. Sorry.
It's really bugging me today.
Her MS
it's not
is
just
flaring.
itching, it's just hurting and annoying. And
so, yeah.
I'm going to sit on that hand
The Dodgers. Dodgers are San Antonio Dodgers. I am a confirmed, because of Ohtani, I am a confirmed LA Dodger fan. Vanessa says, I was lucky enough to attend a few playoff games during the 2017 Cup run. They were amazing, especially Game 7 against Ottawa. The Pens won in double overtime, loudest game I ever attended. Yeah, double overtime is something else. Good night. Huntsville, Alabama, the Rocket City. Cool beans. Good to have you here, Nick. Thank you for answering that question. I appreciate it. Back to board games, LOL. What are your top 5 genres of board games? Wow, this chat text is from 15 minutes ago. Yes, that is correct. I apologize. I'm trying to catch up. Sorry. Yes, the missions. All right. See, that wasn't 15 minutes ago. All right, back to board games. Top 5 genres of board games. Off the top of my head, that's a hard one because I really should be putting it. I would say in the top 5. I'm not going to put them in order, but I would say in the top 5 would definitely be cooperative games.
Yes.
Worker placement games.
Yes, that's one of mine.
Narrative games, like story-driven narrative games, like The Adventures of Robin Hood or Solomon Kane or something like that. Narrative-driven games. Those would definitely be in there. Oh, gee whiz. Trying to think of. Social deduction comes to mind, but not really. It's more of I like games that have hidden roles where it's everybody against a few. Like for example, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, has a murderer and an accomplice. Then everybody else is against those two people. So I like games like that. So it's kind of social deduction-ish, but it really isn't. It's more hidden role games. So I guess hidden role games are more the correct thing. So cooperative, worker placement, narrative, story-driven games. What did I just say?
Social deduction.
Yeah, social deduction, but not really social. Hidden role games.
Hidden role.
Hidden role games, yeah. Those are ones that. So those are 4 that I think would probably have a very high running for being in my top 5. And then for a 5th one, I would probably say 2-player games because we play a lot of 2-player games.
We do play a lot of 2-player games, and that's fun.
That would probably be a top 5. What about you?
One of the things that Sam didn't mention for me is I was super surprised when I did my list of my favorite games, my top 50, how many of them had, I don't know what you called it, tile placement? No. Some sort of...
Spatial organization.
Spatial organization. There you go, darling.
Yeah.
That was really big. I was super surprised when I looked back over my top 50 how many of them had that spatial organization feel.
Yeah.
My city, tiny towns, you know.
Yep.
So that would be one I like. I do like the worker placement games a lot.
Yeah. Good morning from Wisconsin, Chasing Meeple says. Hello, Wisconsin. Vanessa says, if I ever come your way, it'll be by plane. 8 hours in a car is about my limit.
Yeah, no,
well,
valid.
You could do it just 8 hours a day. You'll get here in about 4 days.
Jump the Amtrak. Jump on the...
Amtrak.
Take the train.
Amtrak is actually a good choice.
Especially if it was just you in one of those cabins. That would be kind of nice.
I wonder if every time Bill Nye goes to the store, people scream at him, "Science rules!" O'Doyle rules!
Or not. He's in Mercer Island. All the famous people are in Mercer Island. So when you're in the grocery store in Mercer Island, nobody says anything because everybody there is ultra rich and super famous. When I worked at the golf club there, golf resort, my mom and I both worked there, but I worked in food, like I was a waitress. My mom was out on grounds crew. And I got all the fancy people in there, like all the people that were so beyond rich. What?
I got to go check something.
Oh, dear. Okay.
I will be right back. This might be cool for the stream.
Okay. So I worked as a waitress there, and they were with some really probably billionaires that worked at this golf course that were there. And there was one who was notorious. If her drink got empty, in the middle of she would balance her empty cup on her head as this attention-seeking rich person thing, and her cup was empty. And she'd be just sitting there very patiently with her cup empty above her head, and people would be like, "Oh, Miss Upjohn's out of Bloody Mary. You got to go get Miss Upjohn because her cup is on her head." And that was her passive-aggressive way of saying, "You didn't fill my drink fast enough." But it was fun. Oh, dear.
Yeah. I got a FedEx tracking notification that some things were out for delivery and...
Had been delivered? Are they both for you or there's one for...
Yes, they're both for me. Back off. They're both for the channel.
I know. But I'm waiting for stuff for Daphne.
Yeah, a couple of gifts for
Daphne. Daphne's birthday is Thursday.
There we go.
And then we leave for the cruise on Friday. So can we talk about the cruise?
Yeah, we will, but we got to get up this.
Okay, get this.
So let's see.
Catch back up.
So Vanessa asked, because after I went through my top 5 genres, she asked, aren't those mechanisms and not genres?
Oh, that's a good point.
And you're correct.
Genre.
Genres of games are a little bit
Is
harder.
genre
See,
Viking?
the way
Is that
my
a genre?
Yeah, that's my thing. Are you talking about just themes? Because if you're talking about is a genre a theme,
Strider, stop.
or is but Mama, this smells new. But so
Genre,
is a
genre.
genre just a theme, or is it a group of games that share a common feel or mechanism? And I think a genre, and again, I can maybe pull up, like, if you pull up the Geek and you look at, let me just go to the last one I looked at here. Okay, Gods of Rome. We just played that
Just
yesterday.
played that yesterday.
So the category or genre is religious and mythology. So that doesn't really tell me anything about the game. You know, if I say I like Viking games, that just means that I like Vikings.
Right, you like the theme.
The
It doesn't
theme.
know
That
it means
doesn't
a
tell you
genre.
what kind of games I enjoy.
Right.
So if I tell you I like, for example, action drafting or zone of control games or area control games, yes, those are mechanisms, but for me, those are also a genre as well. You're making a face. What are you doing?
Somebody in our neighborhood is offering a purebred German Shepherd.
Nobody cares.
I know. They're like, we have to move. Who wants this sweet dog?
Really?
Yeah.
That might be a good playmate for your Strider. Seriously, no, I'm
I
serious.
know. I was like, really like.
I thought they were saying like a puppy. Is it a puppy?
No, he's been neutered, and it says
Oh, contact him.
locked. I don't know
That
where it
might
went.
be something we do. But we'll have to see how he would work out with
He's
Strider.
German. He's neutered and licensed. Has
How
his
old?
shots. I can't read it on my stupid watch.
They giving him away or selling him?
It sounds like they're giving him away. Does anyone want or need?
We'll contact them pretty quick.
We do not want or need.
Well, we don't need, but that would be a good playmate for Strider
I know.
after we get back from the cruise.
Yeah, we can't do anything until we get back from the cruise. so-
Anyway, so yeah, that's a good question, Vanessa. It's a super good question, but at the same time, I think it's more helpful. It's more informative if I tell you in a genre of games is I like worker placement games.
as
And
a
yes,
genre,
that
because
is a mechanism, but I think it's also a genre of game. But again, I could be strange, and I'm fine with that. Sometimes the San Antonio Mission are called the lying chaklas. What does that mean? Flying Sam, LOL. Do you think we will ever see a reprint of Shadows over Camelot? I don't think so. It went out of print right as I was getting into board games. Probably, I would say probably not. But with that being said, if an Arthurian legend something becomes popular in the future, I could see Days of Wonder reprinting it to jump on that boat, to jump on that wave. I could see them doing that. But unless that really happens, I don't think it will, because it doesn't really show that much age, but it does show some age when you play it nowadays. It's got some older mechanisms. My top 5 are worker placement, deck building, co-op, hidden role, war games, like
deck
Memoir.
building. I forgot deck building. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, deck building is one of your favorites. You're right. What is your favorite 2-player game you guys like to play right now?
Right now.
What?
I still love Odin's Ravens because it's so tied to a memory for me.
Okay.
Like it's one of my favorite. But we play a lot of 2-player games lately.
Yeah, we play a
and
lot of we play a lot of games 2-player
Two-player.
because we're learning how to play them. But we do play a lot of 2-player games. I would say probably right now, as just a 2-player game goes, my favorite 2-player game right now
I know. What is my favorite
would
2-player
probably
game?
be Dice Throne.
Oh, Dice Throne's great.
I would probably enjoy Dice Throne the most right now. I think that's a really good one. But I know you can play it with more than just 2.
Unmatched.
Unmatched is
We
another one,
play-
but those are very similar.
Yeah.
But
But I really love Odin's Ravens because it's so much a memory for me.
Nick Hayes, I remember seeing Bill Nye's debate with Ken Ham. Personally think Ham won that one. And I think that's more tied to who you would have, who you already agreed with on whether or not who won that. That's how I felt. I agree with you, but I agree more with Ken Ham's worldview than I did with Bill Nye's anyway. But I did watch that debate as well. And
I did not. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Well, I'll have to show it to you. It's interesting. It's interesting things to watch. I enjoy it when people who do not agree with each other at a foundational level
Can have a
conversation and be respectful.
I like that. Yeah.
And the respectful line was towed a little bit by, in my opinion, one of the sides.
I'll have to watch it.
We'll have to see. Anyway, I hardly play any two-player only games, John Shepard says. How close are you guys near the Columbia Gorge?
Also about 3 hours away. We're about 3 hours away from anything in Washington.
The Columbia Gorge?
That's Washington-Oregon border.
Oh, I was thinking about the Gorge.
That is on the Columbia, but maybe. Are you talking about the Columbia Gorge Amphitheater, like the natural theater? But when I hear the word Columbia Gorge, I think of the border between Washington and Oregon. That's what's called the gorge. The mountains on each side, coming down to the river.
Where
Portland, that's on the gorge.
Got it. I got you. Okay.
In that area.
We actually live on the Columbia River.
We live on the Columbia River.
The Columbia River comes right in the middle of the town.
Right through Wenatchee.
So, yeah.
But we're not, I wouldn't say we're on the Columbia Gorge. The Columbia Gorge is what's from about Hermiston to Portland. That's what we consider the gorge. We're about 3 hours from Spokane, 3 hours from Seattle, 3 hours from the gorge, 3 hours from Oregon, 3 hours from Canada. We're right about there.
Revenant 2023. Oh, board game mail, my favorite mail. Yeah, this is kind of even better than board game mail for me.
See.
For me. Anyway,
I'm ready. Let's
go. A couple more things. Sometimes people define genres as themes, but not me. Sorry, Sam. Again, the San Antonio missions are called the San Antonio Flying Chaclas. This means Spanish for sandals. Chaclas is a sandal. So the flying sandals. I'm going to leave that right there.
Yeah, that's all you can say about that.
It is a geographical oddity, 3 hours from everywhere.
It really is.
We are right in the center of the state. Driving, we're probably not the exact longitudinal, latitudinal center of the state, but as far as how long it takes to get from here to almost everywhere in the state, it's about 3 hours.
It's about 3 hours.
So $5, one guy 777.
Thank you so much.
I keep trying to play Core World. I keep hearing you say I would need a calculator. Get out of my head. You will
need a calculator.
You will probably need a calculator at the end of the game at the very least.
For Core World?
Yeah.
Really?
It's a card game where you're like playing out these cards, and then all of these cards have different values, and you're like adding this, and this, and you'll like forget trying to do it in my head. Tom could do it in his head. He would be like...
Is he mathematical too?
He was the math teacher.
I mean, he has a photographic memory almost.
Oh, he's a math teacher. He's like super into statistics and all this other kind of stuff. Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he would like when we ever play a dice game. You have a blah 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 statistical chance of making. I'm like, shut up. You know,
roll
and I'm like,
dice.
yeah, just roll the dice. All right, so here we go. I'll show you what this is.
Is this what I think it is? Yes.
So we're going to open this.
Let's open this.
And we'll see what it is because we got these ordered so that
we have something.
We could have them on the cruise for some of. So we could have some of these on the cruise so we could represent while we are there.
Oh, they look good.
And this is one of the smalls.
Oh, let's hold that up.
This is one of the smalls. Bam! Oh, that's bigger than I wanted it to be.
No, I don't mind. That's a perfect size.
That's bigger than I wanted it to be. But there we go, peeps.
And check it out on the back.
The new shirts, we have a little QR
Is
code
our
on the
QR
back.
code, so
you can,
as we're walking around the
you're walking
cruise,
behind me,
you can just go,
you can
what
just
is that?
scan that, and it'll take you right to our channel and
These
our Facebook
look
and our Instagram.
amazing.
So, yeah, that looks pretty good.
I'm so excited.
Looks pretty stinking good. I like it a lot.
Yeah, no, it's not thick. Feel it underneath, like the vinyl.
Yeah.
No,
but
it doesn't feel.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
We'll see.
I think it'll work. I think I like
That's
it.
kind of chintzy. I
No,
don't like it.
No, it feels real smooth. It doesn't feel like that vinyl-y stuff.
I know, but I don't
Ooh,
like it.
I like it. I like it.
We'll see.
He's wrong.
We'll see.
I'm
we'll
right.
See.
These are awesome.
But it's
We will have some for sale
Yeah.
on the website soon.
Yeah. Well, it'll be at least next month before we can get them ordered.
I said soon.
This stuff costs money.
I said soon. I didn't say today.
But that
Jeez
is
Louise.
the cool thing that just came in.
Ooh
Our
la
new
la.
t-shirts with the new logos.
Love it, love it,
So
love
those
it.
are cool. And we got one for each of our family members. So if you're going on the cruise, here's the thing. We've got one for each of the family, so that's 5. Then we also got one for JT as well. I didn't get one from Mel.
Let me give her one.
Yeah, we give her one if we have a size that'll fit her. I think probably she's
Smaller, medium. I mean,
she's about your size, yeah.
Yeah, she'll probably wear it.
Yeah. So maybe we'll give one.
I think everybody is smaller than I am.
No.
I do. I think I'm like, oh, Mel's got to be like a small.
Absolutely.
And then Sam's like, she's probably the same size as you, and I'm like, really?
I was trying to pull your. I wasn't trying to tickle you.
That's no way.
I was trying to pull your sleeve down. Anyway.
Thanks.
So we'll have some of these to possibly give away.
We have room.
If we have room. Yeah, we have to see about if we can get these on. But wanted to show those to you. Those are cool. They look great.
Or the other option is I take what we want, we ship them down to Orson and meet him there with him. And then we can take them on the cruise. We don't have to pack them.
Fantasy Worlds has the fantasy app that tallies the scores for you. It's extremely helpful. Yeah, there are. Nidavellir does the same thing.
They have
Nidavellir
cool.
would be an absolute nightmare to tally for yourself, but they have a companion app that's free.
Yeah.
That allows you, that does all that for you.
That's
all
one of the
you have
reasons
to
I
do
liked
is
it.
type in is like select by
4
pushing
player or
what
3,
what the cards you have in your tableau, and it does the tabulation.
Yeah, that's
for you.
cool.
That's really good.
I like that.
One guy 777. I need 4x. All right, it's not in this batch, but when we're ordering a new batch, this was like a test to see if I liked the digital printing of the logo. And
Which I love.
I
think
have
it
to
looks
put it
beautiful.
on. I have to put it on. I have to wear it to see how I like it. I may not like it. Anyway, love those shirts and the logo. Yes, the shirts
The new
are
logo that
super
we
good.
got,
Sunday Cool
so
has the most comfortable material for their shirts. Their blend of the cotton, whatever.
It's really
is
comfy.
Super comfortable. So yes, thank you guys for all that. Love the t-shirts, love the logo, love the t-shirts, love the t-shirts. Just got notification of Chronicles of Drunagor is delivering today.
I don't know. Is that a word?
Yeah. Well, Drunagor is, yeah. That's just the name of the game.
Wow.
JT's getting his Unsettled All In, I think. Today. So we're going to be unboxing that tomorrow, I think. John Shepard says, I used to play the 1/72nd scale Vietnam War gaming. You need a calculator to play the game, and you had to divide your firepower by the amount of inches you wanted to put your fire into.
I would be hands down so out of that game.
So would I. I played Warhammer 40K back in the day, and even that was like, okay, how many dice do I have to roll? Because, you know, sometimes, especially if you're playing orcs. If you're playing orcs, you have a mob of 30 orcs, and they're all rolling a die or 2, depending on...
Oh, no.
So it's like you're rolling 60 dice, and then you have to calculate all, okay, this is a hit, that's a miss, that's a hit, that's a hit, that's a hit, that's a hit, miss, that's it, that's it, that's it.
No, thank you. Let's not
so
ever
fun.
try to play that with me.
That's so fun.
I would lose my mind.
I'm in. Put it next to my board game blender shirt. I don't. Oh, okay. I don't sell any board game blender shirts. But he was saying he wears his board game blender shirts. Still.
Nice, got it.
Merch for sale. I need a 5X Sam. LOL. No worries. We can
We're
get
getting
those.
it. Just this is the first batch.
It's gonna take.
Batch.
Yeah,
this
is just a first batch for us to take on the cruise.
Yes. And
that's
then
all this was.
We will be ordering some.
Yeah, then we'll be ordering more. Darn, stepped away for a second and I missed the t-shirts.
Well, then we'll show you again.
We'll show you again. Here we
Because
go.
they're amazing.
That's our logo. That's our t-shirt. So
with the QR code on the back.
QR code on the back so that it can be scanned.
People can be like, what is
Flipside?
Flipside?
Right to,
oh, look at that.
Take you right to our site.
Super excited.
So that's very cool. Whoa, this got...
Whoa, what did you do over here?
Well, I was using my top 100. This is my top 100 right here. So I was using my top 100 to get ready for the list, the top 5 list that we're doing on...
that doesn't affect our travel. U.S. airline regulators grounds 171 Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes after section of passenger jet falls off mid-flight.
We're not on...
A Boeing 737?
No, we're not on that U.S. Airlines. We're doing Delta.
U.S. airline regulator grounds Boeing 737 planes.
Oh, 171 planes over the...
Of the whole U.S., yeah. So it's not going to affect us.
That's not going to affect us, probably. Nice. They look great. Yes, they do. Absolutely. Thank you.
I'm super excited.
John Stepper says, yeah, I remember playing 40K. Used Corn Berserker, having to chuck loads of dice with just a unit of 10. Yeah. Corn Berserkers. That was
crazy.
Back in the day, my buddy, a buddy of mine played Corn Berserker Space Marines, and or his Marine squad had Corn Berserkers in it, and they were OP. I felt like they were OP back in the day. QR code on every 10th shirt Rick rolls you. No. That would be super funny.
That is so funny.
But I think that would mess up my marketing scheme a little bit.
But that is pretty funny.
That is pretty funny. Every 10th shirt goes, we'll give you up.
You know, they go to scan the QR code. Hey, I wonder what this is. Never gonna give you
up.
That's pretty funny.
Do you remember, I figure you were from San Antonio because you drank a Big Red in Florida.
Yeah.
On the Dice Tower videos. You are looking good now. You now drinking Diet Big Red. Now, nope. I actually don't drink a lot of sodas anymore.
No carbonation.
Yeah, because I had what is it called? Gastric bypass surgery. Gastric sleeve surgery, not bypass. Gastric sleeve surgery. So they actually removed about 2/3 of my stomach. And carbonation makes your stomach expand, and it would eventually stretch my stomach out to where it basically reverses the effects of the surgery that I had. So
he's working hard.
I have carbonated beverages once in a great
he's probably had,
moon.
I can count 3.
Since
the surgery in the past 2.5 years.
2.5 years, yeah.
He's had 3 drinks with carbonation.
Yeah. So I
and the whole time I'm eyeballing him.
And I think one of those was a Big Red.
One was a Big Red, and you were without me.
When I was in San Antonio, and you were outside of arm's reach.
Yep.
So.
And the whole time he's had the 2 times I've seen him had a carbonation, the whole time I'm like, and then he'll drink like half of it, and he goes, "Oof,
yeah,
I don't feel good."
Half.
Not even half. He's like, "Oh, I don't feel good." I'm like, Stop drinking it, stop." I do kind of give him the eyeball.
Yep. So, I see. Good job, Sam. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, buddy.
He looks great. I'm not biased.
Okay, so that's one thing. I have to check this. This might be something that we can show online too, but
or it might
I
not.
want to
We
make
have
sure
no idea. I don't know where anything is.
Before I actually do anything about it. So, crap, that came off. Hold on.
Baby, you're okay.
Let's put that inside. That'll be good.
Well, it won't bump it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it just got bumped off. Maybe it will.
Yeah, maybe. Why don't I just hold it for you?
Because it's too far away. Vanessa G, I recently found out that I'm slightly anemic, so I have to make just a few changes to my diet.
Yep.
Yeah, and been there, done that. All right, got to see what this is first before we actually show it online. Don't know exactly what it is. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, this
Can we
is
show
something. Yeah, we can show this. I think so. This is something that I'm going to be doing a review of. And it's a game called... Wow, that's a big box. Dadgummit. I'm going to have to check to see if they have this on the cruise. I might not be able to take it. Anyway, this is one that I'm doing a review of. I know. I think there's English rules on the inside.
Look, the back is not in English.
It's a Japanese publisher, and he contacted me and said, would you be willing to do a review of the new expansion that they have for it? Oh. So there's Ostia and Ostia Pirates. So we will see if we can fit this on the cruise. I did not realize it was this big. It's 1 to 4 players. It's it's about a 2-hour game, 14 plus. But he contacted me, Uchibakoya, and this is a prototype. See, so that's why they sent that to me. So nice. I told them that we were going on the cruise and that we might be able to take it. We would try to take it with us.
Maybe we need to bring a big luggage just for some things.
Yeah, maybe.
And
maybe
it's
only
$30.
It's only $30 expense. Yeah, it's $30. So we might have to tree. Yeah, it is a big box.
It's very big. Look at it
Didn't
compared
realize,
to me. I'm
Ostia was in such a big
short,
box.
But it's a big box.
Yeah, that is a big box.
And that's an inch down on the table. If I put it at table height, I'm like, I'm Kilroy here at the top. It's a big box.
Let's see here. Did y'all ever get the Lord of the Rings adventure book game? I just got it for Christmas. Pumped to play it. No, I haven't actually. That sounds like fun. I wonder if is it a Ravensburger? Is it a Ravensburger? Because the Princess Bride adventure book game was a Ravensburger game. I wonder if it's, it might not be, but that's the only other adventure book game that we have. I think we need to get
that. That sounds kind of like something we would enjoy.
Do you stream chat every Saturday morning? We do try to.
We do.
Yes.
We will not next Saturday.
If we're not in town, then we can't. So the next 2 Saturdays we will not.
We could do it Saturday morning while sitting in the airport. It would be really early, and it would be only from your phone.
Yeah, we might do that.
Might do that. But the next 2 Saturdays we don't. But usually we try to stream every Saturday at around 9 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah.
Some days I like him to go earlier. But most days, most Saturdays. What'd you make a look face? Because I say earlier. I would love the stream to start at 8 because by 10 we got other things to do.
She's so nice and friendly on the stream.
Am I not at home?
She becomes a slave driver once I click in cars.
I don't. I said this morning I would take out the trash.
I think there's like a honeydew list right over there.
No.
It's in here.
I do have a reminders list.
Yeah. She even, like, a literal honeydew list on an app. You have it. I was like over at JT's house looking at floor plans.
He goes, what do you need on the groceries? And I go, it's on the app that you have. It's like
digital honeydew list.
I'm not that bad.
I know you're not.
Fine, I'm going to make a digital honeydew list. And you won't be liking it now. That's it. That's coming. I could have, Sam has been so great. He worked so hard around a whole bunch of stuff around the house this past week.
He called you Wilson.
I did. It was like a Wilson moment. I get looking over the fence.
Howdy ho, neighbor. Bring nesting luggage if so you'll be able to bring back more than you take with you. That's usually not something we try to do, but I totally do that for conventions. But this isn't really a convention, and you got to be careful with how much you bring. A reminder list for you, David Brownlee says.
I'm just saying. I was going to send this app to the kids this morning in the text. I sent a very long, detailed text to the kids.
It was
and I'm pretty
super
sure
long.
all three of them went, I'm not going to read
that.
this. They didn't. I don't think they did. I was like, this is what has to happen before the cruise. This is how it has to happen, and this is when it has to happen, and this is what you have to pack. But I might have to make them do a reminders list so that they actually have to, like, check off the items that they've done. And then I can see,
happen.
oh, look, Dante hasn't done them.
Not going to do that.
You don't think?
No, they are not.
They're very digital. Like, why wouldn't they? Ugh.
Nope.
I did send a long text this morning, and I'm sure they all just ignored it. But because I put it in writing and I sent it to a text, I can say, no, you got this.
Mm-hmm.
You have. Oh, you didn't bring 4 pairs of shorts? That's on you.
Yeah.
I told you to. You know, like.
How many games are in our collection?
Holy biscuits. I don't know. I thought when Sam moved in, I thought somehow we counted or something and we had like 300 or something.
Yeah, we got more than that now.
We have more than that.
I'd say we're probably close to about 500.
I don't know.
I'd say we're close to 500. I have repeatedly said that I am going to Cole, and she has repeatedly said no.
I say why? What do we need to? It's fine.
Because we're running out of room, and we can't just continue to put bookshelves everywhere for games.
All the walls in my house.
No, that can't happen. No, your mother will kill me. Your mother will kill me. We got a game topper that was given to us. That was given to us as a sponsorship for the channel so that we could use it on streams and that kind of stuff.
It fits on the dining room table.
The dining room table, and we showed it to her, and she was like, "Oh, well, more board games, less home."
She doesn't live here, so
she
I don't care what she says.
That your mother, I think, will legitimately kill me.
I do not think so. Look, we got walls here. We got walls here. I think every room in our house should be 18 inches deep with games. Let's just do it.
No.
Except for our TV. We do love our movie night.
Part of this is going to be moving hopefully soon anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some possibilities.
There's some possibilities there. Let's see. Anyone who is married is very well familiar with the honeydew lists, Nick says.
See, he makes a big... I actually don't give him a honeydew list, because if I do, he goes, oh my gosh, a honeydew list.
Yeah, that's true.
He kind of gives me guff, so...
I have my own honeydew list in my head that I nag myself on regularly. As a matter of fact, New Year's Day was one of those.
Yes, that was a great
That was a big thing.
Yes.
We got our security system set up in the house finally. We have had that stuff for almost 6 months.
We still have more to do on it because there's some other stuff that we didn't get done.
Yeah, there's a couple things we didn't on the outside of the house, but the inside of the house is secure.
Yes.
And that was a big plus.
Next thing we got to do, I mean, I have a honeydew list in my head too. I guess I just need to send it to him on the app to get it to start.
Gaming with ADHD. Don't argue with the wife, Sam. I'm not arguing. That is not an argument. Not at all.
Dude, I lose all the arguments. I just can't. I'm like, whatever. I give up.
Spurs fan says, do you have a max limit? Don't be a Jason, 5 of the same games. No. We don't do that.
We don't have any of the
Most
games.
of the games that we have are, what do you call?
We have different versions of some of the same game. Like Horrified, we have 3 versions.
Sure. Yeah,
Ticket to Ride, we have 10
all
versions, but they're all different games.
They're all unique titles. I do not count multiple copies of the same game as part of my collection. Like, for example, I know I have probably 2 or 3 copies of Memoir 44.
Right.
But that's because that's my set of Memoir 44.
Right.
So I don't count that as 3 copies of the same game. It's just one game.
We don't have a lot of copies of different games.
We've got like 4 copies of Cafe, but that's because we have special plans for that. We have a couple of copies of Mind Your Business, but that's because we have... if you have multiple copies of it,
you can play multiple people.
You can play multiple people.
Yeah.
So
can I just say how excited I am that we are doing we are sponsoring one of the season ticket holder events at the Wenatchee Wild.
Oh yeah.
And Sam has graciously reached out to amazing companies, and we have
Well, I would say
Gift
I
packages.
I wouldn't put graciously where you put
Okay.
it. I reached out to companies and the
And
companies
they graciously
have
gifted us.
graciously gifted
So
us
we
a lot
have
of
great
stuff.
big prize packages.
We
and I'm
have
so
we're-
excited.
Yeah, on February 11th, if you're in the area,
But it's season ticket holders.
it's season
so
ticket
I don't
holders.
think-
But here's the thing: I do need some help. If you're in the area,
Maybe Doug. Doug.
yeah, maybe I
did
need
you come
help for people. I need some volunteers for people to help run the tables at this event. There's going to be 12 tables, and I've got right now I think about 8. No, I've got about 6. I've got about 6 volunteers that are going to be helping me run tables at the event. I need about 6 more.
We really would like somebody per
And-
table.
Yeah, and 1 person per table to run games of Ticket to Ride London, which is the smaller thing, and a game called Splitto from 25th Century. Going to be running 2 games at each table during the course of about a 2-hour event. It's on February 11th from 1:30 to 3 o'clock. But I think the 3 o'clock
Yeah, that
is
was
not
kind of
a
vague. It's like 1:30 to 3:30.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be closer to that. But anyway, we have, because of the generosity of the companies, we have
some huge prize packages.
We have 10 raffle packages
Yeah.
that we're giving away, 3 of which have 13 games in them.
Yeah.
And then the other 7 have at least 2 games
Right.
in it.
Yeah.
So,
super, super generous.
A lot of
and
games
we're
were given,
so
a lot
excited.
of generosity. So big shout outs to Simon Global,
Yes, please.
Red Raven Games,
Yes.
25th Century Games,
Yes.
Wolf Designer,
Yes.
and oh my gosh, Days of Wonder.
Days of Wonder.
Days of Wonder, and I think those are the 5 that are.
So we are
that
so
have
grateful. But it
super-
is going to be so
super
much
helped us
fun.
out.
But
Yeah.
yes, if any of you are up in this area,
Mm-hmm.
we do need about 6 people to help run some games on February 11th.
I still have to reach out to our game group, and then I'm
Yeah.
also going to reach out to the
I'm
Comics
putting it
Meadows
on my
group as
reminders
well.
list.
So I got to do that. Do you run into Rich Summer in the gaming world? Not much. I've seen him at a distance from place to place, but you know, my only real connection with Rich Summer is that one time that he came down and did something with the Dice Tower. He's a super cool guy, and but you know, I don't want to be that guy that just kind of latches onto him and tries to commandeer some of his time whenever I see him at a convention. So, you know, I would imagine he doesn't even remember who I am. That's what I usually assume most of the time.
That being said, if any of you are watching and you're on the cruise, we'd love to see you.
Absolutely. Yes, please.
Find us.
Let's see. They have shelves you can hang from the ceiling at Costco if you run out of wall space. David, I'm trying to be responsible. Stop giving me ways that I can not be responsible. I say that tongue in cheek.
I'm happy to help. Like, let's make room. We'll make.
Vanessa says I own just over 50 games and I'm even out of room.
Yeah.
Well, 50 games is a big collection. It really is. What you see behind us is not normal. And I say that specifically. This is a giant exception to the general rule that probably is out there. Most people do not have the room in their house to put 100 games,
I'm ready to.
let alone 500.
JT could do this. We could put double shelves in the garage and they could roll.
Don't even. Our
I
garage
think
is
our garage. That's on your honeydew list. Just take,
Borderlands
put
level.
garage on your honeydew list.
Borderlands level chaos in our garage right now.
If we cleaned up,
And
we could
it's
do like
mostly
double
my
shelves.
fault. It's mostly my fault because, you know, when we get these huge
He's
boxes in, we're
Turning into
like,
my mom.
I just go, well, that's out of my, because it's out in the garage, it's not in the house anymore. So that's my fault.
And my problem is I'm related to my mom, so I go, oh, but that's a really good box. Like, we gotta keep the good box.
John Shepard says, I have 3 versions of Ticket to Ride, Markland, Europe, and London. Don't even
Nice.
talk to me about how many
We have
versions of
quite a few
Ticket to
versions
Ride I
of
have.
Ticket to
I
Ride.
have
Maybe
Ticket to
10.
Ride, I have Markland, I have the base game, I have Europe, I have Rails and Sails, I have Nordic countries, I have Germany, I have France, I have Ticket to Ride New York, San Francisco, Amsterdam, and there's another one in that I have.
That was a little one.
I can't remember what it was.
But that's at least 10.
Yeah. So yeah, I have a lot of Ticket to Ride stuff.
And that's okay.
It's a fun game. It's an enjoyable game, and it's one that people are aware of and are usually willing to play.
There might be one in the game boxes.
So yeah. Let's see. I would totally help if I was closer. I know you would, Brian. You're that kind of guy.
I know.
So I appreciate it, but I totally get it. I do count, David Brownlee says, expansions and tried to track them in a database just to be sure I wasn't buying games I forgot I already had.
Oof.
Database is out of date, but we are probably around 350, including expansions.
Yeah.
Spurs fan says, I see TI4 behind you. When was the last time you played TI4 or 3? Was it when the Cubs won the World Series on camera? TI4 was the last time I played Twilight Imperium. I did play 4th edition. It was strangely enough, it was a 3-player game of Twilight Imperium 4, and it was in a Cool Stuff Incorporated in Hollywood, Florida. That's the last time I played it, and that was years ago. One of the reasons why it slipped on my top 100 to, I think 84, around the 80s, because I just don't play it. It's such a time investment, and it really isn't. It's just one day, but getting 4 people committed to dedicating one day to play one game, that is a big question.
Yeah, right.
That's a big ask, and that's one of the reasons why it slipped. It's not that my enjoyment for the game has waned or anything like that. I would love to play the game. I just can't get people who are dedicated. And again, I'm one of those people. I would have a very hard time dedicating one of my Saturdays that's usually filled with doing stuff like this and doing other family activities and so forth, because the rest of the days of the week are so jam-packed. So I'm one of those people. It's not that I dislike the game. It's just getting that game to the table is so hard. I should say I should get my work to send all my wages to Simon, LOL. I think that's where it all goes, John Shepard says.
Just like cut a percentage off the top and send it in. Yeah.
Well, I am. That's one of my ones that I'm really waiting on right now is the Dune of War for Arrakis. I backed that all in, and that's one of the ones I'm waiting for. Let's see. I know this is a little early, but are you going to Gen Con this year, Sam? I don't know, Matthew.
I don't know that we know yet.
I don't know because it just depends. If I go, I'll probably be going with Love Thy Nerd and be working at a booth that they are contracting with. So, but I don't know yet. Haven't made that determination. Spurs fan says, LOL, Sam Rich remembers you. LOL, don't be so modest. By the way, that guy is only a friendly guy with people. That is not a bad thing, Sam. No, I just don't assume. I don't assume that, even when I'm contacting people in the industry that I know I've spent a lot of time with, I always say, I know, I realize you may not remember me. This is who I was. This is who I used to be. This is what I'm doing now. I always send that when I'm recontacting or reconnecting with somebody in the industry. I never assume that people remember because there are many times when I don't remember. And because things happen, your mind gets muddled. Your mind can only process and keep so many different things. Now you will be, certain things will trigger memories, and that stuff will come back, and that's why I usually do that. So I totally get what you're saying, and I appreciate that. But maybe I will, maybe I don't. Let's see here. It's only normal if they are calyx shelves.
Mine are not normal. Then.
Yeah. Well, I think these are a lot better than calyx shelves. As a matter of fact, I can fit a lot more. I can fit a lot more games on them because of how they were built. And Scott did a good job, a really good job. Matthew Rose says it gets way too hot here to put any board games in the garage. I don't put board games in the garage. I know you were talking about it, but
we need it. Well, we need a storage shed that's.
Now, see, that's the thing. If I need a storage shed To store my collection, that's too much. That's too much. Now, a place like the Dice Tower that takes this thing around to different conventions, they need it. They need a storage shed to store it. They have thousands of games on their. I get it. That's something different. A personal individual, if you need a storage room, a storage locker to house your collection or to help house your collection, you have too many games. Because there's no way you. Because out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. At least with them being right here, they're always in my sight, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we should play that.
Yeah,
Oh, we got to
that
do
kind of
that. Let's
stuff.
come. Let's get that.
But
out
you start
today.
putting stuff in a storage room, in a storage closet that you rent. That's in town.
Right.
Nah, come on.
I think this sofa.
Ticket to Ride games are awesome games.
They're good games.
That's true. They're good games. Have you played Roy's Last Light? Yes, I have. Mine arrived a few weeks ago. I can't wait to try it. I've played it. I've played it in its prototype form before he signed it. But JT and I played a 2-player game of it. Had a blast playing it, and I want to get it back to the table. Am I boring?
You liked it? Shush. I didn't have any lemon waters.
Didn't you?
This isn't what I loved.
That's
this is
not-
okay.
You don't like it?
I like it.
Then
I
drink
just
it.
want more.
I can tell when you don't
lemon.
like something because you still have it after mine's gone. Yeah. No,
Try.
thank you.
It's cocoa.
Y-
It's pressed cacao. Try. And I put the Italian cream
No,
sugar in it.
I am not drinking that. I don't even know what that smells like.
It's chocolate.
That does not smell like chocolate.
It's dark chocolate pressed, and you drink it like a coffee. So it's
It
like
smells worse than medicine.
worse than medicine.
I don't even.
It's chocolate.
I make her make the face online all the time. She's going to make me make the face
I
now.
make the face online. It's chocolate.
Oh,
It's
why do you
chocolate.
put that stuff in your body? Yeah, exactly, Strider. Is right. Ugh.
It's chocolate.
No, it's not chocolate. It's like water that tastes like it's trying to be chocolate.
I put creamer in it. It has the same creamer that you have
That's
in yours.
what it is. It
the
tastes
creamer.
like creamer.
That's
Drinking
what it is.
creamer right out of the bottle. That's what that tastes like. Just commit to play TI4 with fans of the game once a year. Don't stream that day. LOL.
We're streaming it. It's an 11-hour episode.
I don't know about that. Any thoughts on gamefold tables versus game toppers? Their price is a definite advantage, but I worry if they are wide enough. Well, I have to honestly say our channel is sponsored by Game Toppers. There's a reason for that. It is not because they've given us money to say that. I'll put it that way. Now they did give us product, but they gave us product because it was a marketing expense for them, but no cash has changed hands. So they haven't paid us anything. They've given us free product to use on the channel, and that's why they're a sponsor. But the main reason why they're a sponsor is because I love their product.
Right, it's good.
It's good.
Sturdy.
It's durable. It's sturdy.
Beautiful.
And the quality that you're getting for the price makes it worth it for me. It is, you can get a premium style like this one right here that we have is not a game topper. The playmat is a game topper. Their playmats are bar none the best in my opinion. And I have a lot of different game mats, and these are by far the best. Period. End of discussion. Hard stop. The table is the old Geek Chic that Tom used to have way back in the day. And he handed it down so that when he started using Rathskellers, and then after Rathskellers, he went to, I think it's boardgametables.com, I think now. Or Onboard or something. I don't remember their name. I'm sorry. They also publish a lot of games as well. But So this is a Geek Chic, but the playmat is Game Toppers. The Game Topper that we have on our dining room table is
It's so beautiful.
it's so good.
It's sturdy and it's.
I've seen ads for the game fold tables, and I'm apprehensive at best. They look interesting, but I cannot imagine that they are anywhere near as sturdy as our Game Topper. I can't imagine.
Game Topper is so sturdy.
And I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that I can honestly and with integrity recommend Game Toppers. I know that for a fact, so that's what I'm going to say. I couldn't give real honest opinion on anything
On the
else.
other ones, because we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
But this is something we do know. The product we know. The people we know. The company we know.
Game Toppers, if you want a quality premium game top without breaking the bank. It is going to be expensive if you're talking about, because it's a luxury item, and they are more expensive than just buying a regular table. I get it. But if you're talking about buying a game table as opposed to buying a game topper, it's night and day. It's night and day. It's like buying a car. It's like buying a car for a regular game table. A game topper is, it depends on the ones you can get. You can get a basic level one for about $1,000.
They're really nicely made.
It's portable, it's sturdy, and it's just like having a premium game table.
Yeah.
There's no two ways around it. So that's my honest take on game toppers. I've seen the ads for the game fold tables, and I'm apprehensive at best. That's all I can say.
But we can't speak for it. We don't know.
Yep. Yeah, we really can't tell. But so there you go. Can you write off new games as studio soundproofing when doing taxes?
I think that's going to have to happen.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. Not studio soundproofing. It is a business expense. That is something we can do. So we probably will. Let's see here. My friend has over 2,000 games. He needs another house.
Wow.
And you know what? Jason's collection, Jason Levine's collection, is probably dwarfs that. And he still refuses to have
Guinness Book of World Records.
Guinness Book of World Records come by because he knows friends of his that have larger collections than he does. It's just crazy. Let's see here. Berkey told me I bought his first game topper back when we met at a Dice Tower con. I love it. My wife questioned my judgment because I had to find room in the SUV on the drive back. That's pretty much how it is. They are large, but it depends. You can buy. They have a 3x3, a 4x4.
3x6.
And then they have a lot of different sizes, so it just depends on how you can do it. But yeah, even if you buy that 3x3, it's a 3x3 square.
Right.
So that's hard to find room for in a car.
Yeah.
So
especially if you have people in that.
Berkey is also a cool guy. He is absolutely
very
a cool
nice guy.
That's one of the main reasons why we are great. We are very happy to have them as sponsors because he's a good guy, great guy. Tracking number says out. Our game topper arrives today. Hurrah! Very cool, David. That's cool. Thank you.
That was my excited phase. I'm like,
what did you get? What did you get? Let us know what you got. And
I got goosebumps. Look.
Spurs fan, just curious. Did you take any games from Tom's collection since he had an idea to store his games at his friend's collection? No. The only games that I took from Florida were games that I reviewed on the channel, and that was kind of the thing. If we reviewed it, we had the opportunity to keep it. If we didn't want to keep it, it possibly went into the collection. Now, there were some games that we reviewed that we didn't have the choice. It went just directly into the Dice Tower library.
Right, collection. Like, this is a game going in the library.
But often we would have the option of keeping the game. And if not, if we wanted to keep it and they also wanted it to be in the library, then they just either bought a copy or depends on how many copies got sent to us in the first place. So I don't know the exact, that's just what I remember. Policies could have changed by now, all that kind of stuff with the Dice Tower, but that's usually how it used to be. Solo Board Gaming Night is here. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate that. I see Rebellion behind you. My son and I played it together this past summer, and it was the best 5 hours we have ever played since ever spent playing a board game.
Oh, that's fun.
If you are a Star Wars fan, Star Wars Rebellion is, I've always said it, Star Wars in a box.
That's cool.
It absolutely feels like you are playing through a version of the movies within that universe.
That's cool.
So that doesn't surprise me at all. Spurs fan says, if you are in any hobby, you are going to spend money. Yep. If you can afford it, that is okay to me. That is all right. Yep, that's exactly it.
When I was into quilting, I had so much fabric. In fact, one of my Facebook memories came up a couple of weeks ago, and it says I donated 217 pounds of fabric.
Wait, 217
pounds
of
fabric.
That's not that much.
It's not, but it's a lot of
fabric. Fabric weighs a lot.
But that's a lot. It was when I was purging, and we were going to get ready to move into a smaller place.
How much did you keep by comparison?
I didn't keep much because I knew I wasn't going to be quilting. I actually got rid of a lot.
That's a lot of stuff.
But it was like.
Nick Hayes says, I forgot you were sponsored by Game Toppers. Sorry if I put you in an awkward situation.
Oh, not at all. That was not at all.
You know, that's not an awkward situation at all, because all I have to do in a situation like that is be honest with you.
Yeah.
That doesn't make for an awkward situation. The honesty is simply we're sponsored by Game Toppers because that's the product that I chose.
That we like.
That I chose to want to be sponsored by. So we talked to, we opened the conversation with Brick.
Yeah.
It was kind of a mutual opening because we were already friends, and I told him that we went, I was starting a new channel, and it just kind of naturally evolved to how can we help. Berkey said to me, how can we help the channel? Yeah,
but that wasn't an awkward question because we are still
all.
Answering honestly.
Yep.
Well, this is the product that we like.
Yeah.
We can't speak for the other product.
No, we can't.
I'm not saying it's not a bad product. I'm just saying we can't actually speak for it. Nope. This is a product that we know and we can speak for. That's all.
The only thing I've seen is I've seen the ads that are on different places on the net.
Yeah.
And that's the only experience I have with Gamefold.
We have no idea.
So I can't really say anything, but I also can't say anything negative against Game Toppers because we have only positive things to say about them. Let's see here. Do you track your gameplays on the Geek? No, I do not. I don't. I know. JT does. Maybe he doesn't track them on the Geek. I think he does. I know he tracks the plays. Brian, another guy in our gaming group, he tracks his plays. I don't track my plays. I probably should, just for the sake of stats and being able to keep up with games that I played. And all
Maybe
that
we'll
kind
try
of stuff.
this year. See, he makes the face.
I don't think it's going to happen. That's just the real. I know. I hear you. In my head, I'm like, yeah, that would probably be a good idea because of the data, because of the stats, because of keeping track of what we played and who we played it with. I get it. But the realist in me just says, you're not going to keep doing that. I don't think either of us will. So, I mean, we can try. And if it continues to work out, great.
I'll just do it on my reminder app.
I don't think that's going to happen.
How
is Star Wars Outer Rim? Star Wars Outer Rim, if you like Firefly the game and you are a Star Wars fan, I think you will probably like Outer Rim better than Firefly the game. Outer Rim is the extended universe in a box for Star Wars. Rebellion is the movies. That, like episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then Rogue One. Those movies, Star Wars Rebellion is those movies in a box. If you want extended universe, like fan fiction type stuff, but within the universe where you still kind of brush shoulders with some of those bigwig characters from the movies, that's what Star Wars Outer Rim feels like. It's a pick up and deliver type game within the Star Wars universe, where you are basically a bounty hunter and or a smuggler or what have you, and you're trying to just make your way in the galaxy. You're not necessarily part of the rebellion. You're not necessarily part of the Empire. You're not necessarily part of some of the the shadier people. You're just a business person trying to make your way in the galaxy with Star Wars Outer Rim. But it definitely has that Star Wars feel to it. Much like Firefly had that Serenity Firefly feel to it. So if you liked that kind of pick up and deliver type game, you will probably enjoy, and you're a Star Wars fan, you will hands down enjoy Outer Rim, I think. Honestly, I'm getting to the point, Matthew says, where I have no more room for more games. I also have about 2,000 comic books and around 200 action figures in the box. Wow. That's an awesome collection. That's an amazing collection. So well done.
I got rid of all of my comic books.
David Brownlee says, we got the early bird, the Scotland Yard package, Watson topper, with the wood grain and Lost World mats and goblet holders.
Ooh.
That's a really good package. The Watson is like a 3x4, I believe. 3x5, I think. No, yeah. I think a 3x5 is the Watson. So it's a little bit shorter than ours, just by about foot, 6 inches on either side. And then it's about the same width, though. Right. A little bit smaller, but it's about 3 feet.
Oh, that'll be beautiful.
Yes. What with wood grain and so the wood grain topper, that's a topper we don't have yet.
We don't have the wood grain.
But it's stark how real it looks.
That's exciting.
I mean, that playmat is just, it's really nice. Yeah.
The wood grain.
Oh, he also got the dining cover. Ooh. That's something we don't have.
What's the dining cover?
It sits on top to make it a flat surface.
Oh.
Yeah. That's really
cool.
Well,
we didn't have that. We need that.
What are the top games you guys like to play together right now?
Oh my gosh. I just like to play with Sam. I whether it's the two of us or multiples of us or us and the kids, I'm really enjoying time when we can play.
Yeah.
Unless it's a game I make the face at. And that happens frequently.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's a game that I have to ask at the end of the game, what is that rated on BGG? That usually means it was a little too much for me.
Yeah. That's probably true. We've surmised that 3 out of 5 is her max.
That's pretty much
If it goes over 3, she might be able to handle it,
depends.
but she's really comfortable under 3.
Right.
Yeah.
But if I have to ask what this game is rated on BGG, that usually means I probably made the face. So what do we like to play together right now?
What have we really enjoyed recently? We've played a lot of games recently.
We've played so many games recently.
So,
I know. Wandering Towers, fun.
You really enjoyed Santa's Workshop recently.
I liked that game so much.
I think you enjoyed Keltay.
I liked Keltay.
Yeah, that's something we really enjoyed. Let's see.
I liked Tutankhamun. That was a fun one.
Yeah, Tutankhamun was fun.
I like Wandering Towers.
You really enjoyed the Princess Bride adventure.
I really like the Princess Bride because I'm such a dork. But
the Art Project, Dice Throne.
Dice Throne.
Yeah.
I mean, Cascadia.
Yeah, Cascadia is one of your favorites.
So I just enjoy when we get time to play.
Oh, that's right. Ours is a little bit shorter than 3 inches. The Watson is a little bit 3 feet. The Watson's a little bit wider. You're
Okay.
right. I'm sorry, David.
So
You
it's like
are
a
correct.
4x5.
No, it's 38 inches. It's
Okay.
just an inch wider.
Yeah.
And that's the playing surface on the inside.
Right.
So it's just it's an inch wider than ours.
Yeah.
To be fair, Santa's Workshop looked great.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was very fun. Very, very fun. Let's see here. I'll probably be shopping battle mats on Deep Cut Studios site later today. Also, the dining cover to keep the cat from swiping the meeples onto the floor.
No, that'll
Yeah.
happen even with the dining cover.
Well, no, it won't, because it will be protected.
The dining cover, like,
Cats do these things.
Sam comes into his studio
Often.
frequently.
In the mornings. Cat? Stupid cat?
And there's like, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I can't set things up the night before anymore.
Right.
Because we don't have a dining cover. And if I set it up, the cat will come up here and just like, it's mass hysteria. Just like, bloodbath. Han Solo or Mal Reynolds, Han Solo or Mal Reynolds, or are they the same person? LOL. They are very similar characters. Mal Reynolds is the main
Firefly.
lead of Firefly.
Right. I remember that. I
And of
remember
course-
that.
yeah, okay, good.
See?
I think any collection should be used for fun or sold for a profit. They are not for collecting dust. Pun intended.
That's a good point.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Like, if we're
Matthew
not
Rose,
playing it,
Sam,
I'm enjoying it.
when you were in San Antonio, did you ever go to Ekman's Toy and Comic Book Show? Nope, I didn't. When the last time I actually lived in San Antonio, I was not really that deep into board games.
Right.
And that is to say, I wasn't really playing games much at all. Anyway, I was in college. I was living with my grandparents and trying to, work so I could help out with bills around the house. So I didn't really have, and the people that I was running with then, we were not really into playing games at that point. So no, I didn't. I wasn't really in that scene back then. Do you guys meet at church or Board Game Con? We met online.
We met online.
Facebook dating. And we were both literally last chance. I'm done with this. Last chance. So she has a much more romantic
We met online.
retelling.
I was just grateful. We were both deleting apps, going, this is dumb. This is dumb. This isn't working. And then it did.
Yep, it worked. Last chance.
Yeah.
But I knew Jessie would like Santa's Workshop. Yep.
I totally did.
Literally, Vanessa came by the Game Toppers booth and said, I just played Santa's Workshop, just demoed it. Jesse's going to love that game.
Yeah, totally did. You
So
know it.
I
Absolutely.
actually, that day, went over to Elf Creek's booth
And bought it. Yeah.
So,
Good recommendation, Vanessa.
good recommendation. Finally played Cascadia with the expansion. Really liked what it added.
I did too.
Told you. I've always wanted to ask Sam, what do you think about dungeon crawlers? Also, have you played Role Player Adventures? I have yet to table that. I have not played Role Player Adventures. JT has and says that, I think, has he played it? I think he has. I think he said he liked Role Player Adventures. It's basically you take Role Player, the characters that you created in Role Players, and you play a role-playing game with them. I mean, it's a board game, but it's a role-playing game, board game. But if I'm understanding how he described it. So, what was the game that got you into board gaming hobby? For me, I think the first one that I really remember playing and thinking, this is a hobby that I can get into, It had to, man, I don't know that it was a specific one game. I mean, we played stuff like Shogun. No, not Shogun. It was
Bang.
Samurai Sword, something like
Samurai
that.
Sword.
Back in the day, at college, we played, CCGs, Decipher, Star Wars CCG. Back in the day, we played BattleTech. Some of that same group played Pokemon, but I never really got into that. So I don't know that it was any one particular game where I said, this is something I'm going to get into. But it was just a group of games, and it was pretty much what the group was playing. We played Risk 2210 AD. We played Battle Hero Clicks. We played a lot of different games. Warhammer 40K is probably where that really started to open my eyes to the rest of the hobby. And because I couldn't afford to keep up with buying new Warhammer stuff, we started playing board games more often. So I would probably say Warhammer 40K as far as large scale getting into the hobby. That's
Mine would be
for me.
Hogwarts Battle.
Yep.
I didn't realize that there were games like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could have a deck building game and you can play these characters. And I had no thought that happened before. And that was cool.
David Brownlee says, our cat likes to sleep in the center of whatever we have set up on the table.
Yes.
She is the only reason I got the dining cover.
I think we need the dining cover.
Yeah, well, maybe. You sell the cat and get a dining cover.
We're going to have to shave the cat.
Yeah, we have to shave the cat. Our cat looks like a Rastafarian right now.
He's super matted.
I don't know why either, because it's not like we don't take care of him. It's just that his hair is growing so weirdly now.
I know.
But anyway. How often do you visit San Antonio?
I try to get Sam down once a year.
It's been twice. It's been twice in the last 3 years.
Yeah, but we didn't go last year. That was the year before.
That's the one time that we. That's the
yeah,
one time
I
in the
would like
last
to
3
get
years.
Sam down at least once a year.
Yeah, my grandpa still lives down there.
Yeah, we want to go get him
We
to
want to
visit
try
Grandpa,
to visit Grandpa at least once a year. But we'll see. We'll see. God worked on his magic on you guys also.
He sure did.
That is absolutely what happened.
That's why my story is a little bit more romantic than Sam's story.
There are also pre-made characters I played through the campaign last year.
The role play adventures.
Yes.
I'm following.
Yep, I get it. You never said what you think about dungeon crawl games. I'll get back to that. Dungeon crawlers, I enjoy dungeon crawlers. I don't have a problem with them at all. I enjoy them. They tend to be scenario driven, or maybe you could say episodic, and I like that about games, where you can sit down and just play through a scenario with a dungeon crawl. Some of them are also campaign, which I also enjoy, but campaign games, I've usually found, at least in my experience, I rarely play through more than just a few levels of the campaign, and then it doesn't ever hit the table for a while. The one difference in that is Darkest Dungeon. JT and I played through an entire campaign of that. Now with Darkest Dungeon, you have multiple campaigns that you can play through, depending on how you set it up. But so that has that going for it. But I like dungeon crawlers. They're fun. They're really fun. But it just depends on how diverse the characters that you're fighting against are, because they can be very like, oh, there's another skeleton. Oh, there's another whatever, kobold or gnoll or goblin or whatever it is. If they're more diverse and not just the run-of-the-mill, that makes them more fun.
Was the game? We played a game with JT and Mel, in which we were trying to get out and we had to get back to a certain point. Was that considered a dungeon crawler?
Eh.
I can't remember that game. I remember playing it. That's the problem.
Clank. That's what that game was.
Yeah.
And you got stuck.
I got super
You couldn't
stuck.
get out.
I was like, cool. I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah.
But that's not a dungeon crawler game.
I mean, it's kind of a dungeon crawl themed game, but it's not really a dungeon crawler, no.
Have I played a dungeon crawler?
I don't think so. Because usually Zombicide kind of is, but not really. Deliverance is, but again, not really either. It has similarities to dungeon crawlers, but
Because you're battling creatures.
Yes.
All the time. Okay.
Let's see. So, Matthew, yes, I do like dungeon crawlers. I didn't mean to sidestep that question. I apologize. How was your time in Korea? How long were you there? Was it a good experience? Did the Korean culture influence you in any way? I don't know that it influenced me in any way. I mean, any culture that you live in, sorry, you're...
It's really bugging me today. Look, I can't.
You need to put your sleeves on. You want to go do that?
Yeah, keep talking.
All right. Well, we're almost done anyway. But
Okay. Well,
go ahead.
There's a piece of paper under your chair.
Yeah. Let's see here. How was your time in Korea? Well, my time in Korea, I'll start with the last question. How did the Korean culture influence you in any way? I think anytime you spend any great amount of time in a culture, it influences you, but it influences you in such a way that you don't really realize that you're being influenced with it until you get out of that. One of the things that I noticed about Koreans, now don't get me wrong, there are, kind of, curmudgeon-y, nasty people in every culture, but generally speaking, Koreans are friendly, nice people, and I found that there was having a difference between living in that culture and then coming back to America. I noticed that there was a huge difference in how nice on a general level Americans are in comparison to Koreans. Now, there is also there's a lot less like personal space in Korea. And that's one of the things that I've always kind of been, the whole police song, don't stand so close to me.
COVID song?
Yeah, the COVID song, right? But I'm being very, very not obstinate, but I'm being very roundabout with my answer there because I don't know if it really affected me that much. Talking about how
I know.
Did Korean culture affect me or change me? It probably did, but I think it did so in such a way that I didn't really notice the change over the course of time. I enjoyed my time in Korea. I think it's a great country, great people, very nice people. Living in Korea is probably one of the things that kind of opened my eyes to the scope of how big the board game hobby and industry could potentially be. It's the first place that I experienced board game cafes. People that would go to a place to play a game rather than just buying a game in a store and taking it home. So I think, it was a great time. It's a great country. I think it would be, anywhere you go, you're always going to run into boogers, and that's just the way it goes. But overall, Korean people are very nice, and they can be very loyal people, and I like that about Koreans.
And I love the fact of living overseas. I think it does kind of change your view a bit.
Mm-hmm. It does.
So it does. The question, does it change who you are? Well, kind of. When you live overseas, it is going to kind of change.
Mm-hmm. You are correct. My aunt used to get her cat a lion cut.
Yeah, that's what he has to have.
He looked so cute and felt like a peach fuzz.
Yes, he needs a lion cut. The problem is there are no groomers in the Wenatchee Valley that will do lion cuts on cats at all.
No, they won't do cats at all.
There are no groomers that will do cats.
You know why? Because cats are jerks.
Last time I had to have him lion cut, I had to take him to the vet, and they have to put him under sedation, which is considered a surgery.
So it's $300.
It's $300 something.
We ain't gonna do that.
I can't do that. So I'm gonna buy some tools this week to help me shave the cat by myself. Well, by ourselves. Sam's doing this with me.
Yes. And we have, that's going to be fun. Whenever you guys are able to make San Antonio, I'd like to meet you guys. Absolutely.
We would
We'll let
love
you
that.
know.
We would
We'll
love
let you
that.
know. We'll let you know. Let's see here.
Who's that?
Visiting friends in Austin and the family in Boerne, Texas.
Nice.
At the end of the month. Any game shops I need to visit? Austin and Boerne. I don't know of any shops there specifically, but I'll take a look. Maybe ask me that question, email flipsideobg@gmail.com, and I'll look into it and see what I can see. I'll contact my friends down at Night Watch and see if they have any recommendations. They might be a little bit more connected. So yeah, just curious, Sam, what is the tattoo on your arm? I have 2 tattoos. I have this one right here, and then I have this one. We have matching wedding rings for our fingers. Hers is
his favorite color.
My favorite color, which is green, which looks a little faded now.
No, mine still looks more green than yours.
And then mine is
actually, I think it's looking
blue.
better.
Mine is blue for that because that's her favorite color. So those are our matching wedding rings. Or bands. It's not a whole ring. It doesn't go all the way through.
You can't take it off.
But yeah, you can't take it off.
Too many people in America go like this.
This is our actual. This is our actual.
I'm wearing that one too. I wear it on my.
And I wear it on the other finger.
I do too.
So
I have to wear a silicone ring to keep it
on. These are ancient Elder Futhark Viking runes, and I used the Icelandic to get back to as close as the ancient Norwegian as I could, because Icelandic is closer to ancient Norwegian because it, those that went and settled Iceland didn't do all of the other stuff in Europe that the other Viking Norwegians did. So that Norwegian got more affected by all of those other languages and cultures. But the guys that were in Iceland, they stuck closer to there. So I went with that, and I got matter of fact, one of the guys that helped me find the right words actually looked it up in the Bible where it talks about Christ being the way, the truth, and the life, and that's what this is. This says Vegurinn sannleikurinn lifið, which means the way, the truth, and the life. That's what that is. So that is that.
That's all we got.
Let's. I hate moving across the USA. How the heck do you move your stuff across an ocean? You buy a moving company. You hire a moving company, and they do it for you.
That's what we did
You
when
have
we moved out
to
of
basically rent out a cargo container.
Yep.
And that's how you do that. Let's agree to disagree, Sam. I love cats. I don't.
He does love our cat.
I don't dislike our cat. It's just that the cat can be a real jerk. It only wants to snuggle you when it wants to be snuggled.
Which is usually right when you're about to put your coat on. You're trying to leave.
Exactly when you're
like...
trying to do something else. And it's like, no, you shall snuggle me now, sir.
Now,
you have no choice.
My last cat, Sam didn't get to meet, but he was not a jerk. My cat now is kind of a jerk. We love him to pieces, but he is kind of a jerk.
He is very much a jerk.
What
is your favorite game that nobody else seems to know about? Mine is The Hobbit and Unexpected Party. Huh.
Oh, that sounds
I
fun.
don't know. I don't know about
Secret
anybody else
game that
knows about.
nobody knows,
I feel like I'm behind
Mine
the
would
curve
be
most of the
Hogwarts
time.
Battle. I don't think anybody plays that but me.
But people know about it because that was pretty hot back in the day. It still is probably very well liked.
We're in that.
What game do I like that nobody else seems to know? I don't think I have one of those games right now because I'm super behind the curve on what's hot and what's not. So I don't know.
Dante probably has them. Dante has Boop. He really likes Boop, but nobody knows that one.
Yeah, that's true. Tenpenny Parks is one that I really enjoyed,
like
and I
that
think
one.
not a whole lot of people are talking about
Yeah,
it. But that's that might be because it's just past that point of
Right.
people talking about it.
Right, but that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
What do we like that people aren't talking about?
Yeah,
I love Tenpenny Parks.
I'd say Tenpenny Parks is probably one of those. Shaving a cat sounds like an adventure.
Well,
Don't stand, don't even touch me. COVID song.
Yeah, it's a COVID song.
Let's see. We should meet up, dude. Matthew Rose said, "You Spurs fan?" Absolutely. Sorry, I'm
that's
late.
Nice. I love the fact that we're building community.
Yeah, that's cool.
Community. That's great.
Because they both live in San Antonio.
Yeah, that's a fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Night Watch is Night Watch is good for Bernie, I think, but maybe one in Bernie. Yeah, Bernie, Texas is outside of San Antonio.
Oh, so it's kind of
but
close-ish.
it's not so far away that it would be outlandish to go down there.
Right. Okay.
Let's meet at Night Watch. Yes.
Oh, I love
Very
that.
good.
That just made my whole heart happy.
Yep, you guys need to do
Really,
that.
really, really.
I keep saying I'm going to get a tattoo, but just haven't made the commitment yet. It is a commitment because they do have, you can get your tattoos removed.
No.
You
This
can
is
do
why
that,
we did our
but-
wedding rings,
But
because
it's a process.
this is a commitment that can't be removed.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That sounds great. How do we get in touch? You guys hit it. I will put my email on here for you and Sam, and then delete the message. There you go. How to exchange if not in a YouTube chat? I don't know. Well, I tell you what. I tell you what.
Both
Matthew,
of you email
just
Sam.
email me, and I'll get you guys connected. Just do that. That'll
Flipside
be
at
the best
OBG.
way. Yeah. Here. Just you guys both.
Both of you email
me
Sam,
there.
and he'll connect you.
I'm flying out of San Antonio so I can hit Night Watch on my way out.
Nice.
Let them know I sent you, David. Porrick and Brenda are awesome people.
Good people.
They're the owners, and they've been pivotal in a journey that Jess and I are just now starting.
They're good people too.
Yep, absolutely. My next purchase, when I can decide which to get, will be either Kemet or Ankh. I would push you towards Kemet, but that's just because I don't like one of the main mechanisms in a multiplayer game of Ankh. I've heard that Ankh is a very good two-player game, but the price of Ankh for just two players throws it out the window. But that's if you don't like that catch-up mechanism where at a certain point in the game, third and fourth player combine into one mega power, and they start whopping everybody. And it's like a at that point, first place is trying to win the game before they get caught by the mega power. That's basically but what happens in that situation, in my experience, and again, it's only happened once, but what happened was the person that was in second place got trounced by this third and fourth player monstrosity.
Right.
And that made them just going, well, crap, I just wasted my entire time.
Right.
And now first place still won, but second place got demolished by third and fourth player when they combine.
Yeah.
So that just doesn't seem like fun to me. So that's why I would say check out Kemet. I've heard that Ankh is good at two players. I haven't tried it yet. That's something that's on our docket. But there you go. I know Boop been wanting to get that one for my wife.
We have it right here.
Spurs fan, I think police songs are for stalkers. Do you ever hear the lyrics to police songs? Most like love songs.
That's funny, by the way.
Most love songs are on the verge of being super stalkerish. Yeah.
That's
Every
funny.
move you make.
I did not realize that all police songs like that
Every step
now
you
I have it in my
take.
head, and I'm like, that's funny. That's super funny.
I'll be watching you. Or it's a Santa Claus song.
What about the one you heard at Christmas?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I had on the heavy metal Christmas. On
Yeah,
Amazon,
heavy metal
I think I was
Christmas
playing.
songs. And one of the lyrics, like out of the blue on this, it's talking about Santa Claus.
Right.
And it's like, he knows where you live. I'm like, Santa Claus is a creeper. Let's see here. Is about a stalker.
Is
I
it
know.
really? Nah.
I don't. That's what everybody says.
No, it's like a
I don't know that
it's
Sting
about
wrote
a
that
stalker,
song
but it sure does sound
about
like it.
being a stalker.
But it sure does sound like it.
I think there might be a new Kemet coming in Kickstarter. Yeah, I think they're doing a reprint. They're doing a reprint of that. Most love songs are stalker songs. Funny Sam, LOL. Well, I mean, yes, it's the Alice Cooper song. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly what it was. He knows where you live. It's funny.
We're gonna have to end soon.
Yeah, we do. We got to get in. We've actually gone longer than we usually do, which is fine.
Sorry.
No.
Probably because we got sidetracked by
by.
hockey for 30 minutes.
That's a good sidetrack.
It is a good sidetrack.
Oh, any chance we get to talk about hockey is a good.
We didn't get to show these or talk about these. We'll do that next time.
Yeah, we will, I guess.
We don't have time.
I know we don't have time.
They don't
But it's
have time.
cool. But I did do. I can't show you the other side of this because somebody will actually probably screenshot it and have some insider information. But I did get my top 5 list ready for the cruise, and that's on the other side of this piece of paper right here. So I can't say what top 5 it is because I don't know that.
No, you can't.
I don't know that they are.
He got asked to do
top 5
top
with
5
the guys.
with the guys on Dice Tour.
Dice Tower. So
And
the
we
Dice
are
Tower
going
cruise.
on a cruise.
Yep.
Let's
We're going
go.
on a cruise. I got to help shovel snow anyway.
Sorry.
One more question here. Are there any games that have the same feel mechanism as Twilight Struggle but can be played solo? No one would ever play Twilight Struggle with me. I don't know, Nick. That play solo, that's the thing. I've only recently really started playing games in a solo, with their solo mode because I always wanted to have that multiplayer experience. So, but now that most of my game group has regular 9-to-5s, I'm finding myself playing solo games more often just so that I can learn how to play the games. And that's a recent development. Twilight Struggle is not a recent game, and I haven't come in contact with any of these solo modes that have given me that same feel that Twilight Struggle did. So I'll have to think about that. So again, use that email, Flipside OBG, and send me that question via email, and I'll think more about it and try to get back to you. Just emailed you, Sam, for your information. Thank you. Appreciate that. Matthew Rose, you need to send me your email so that I can connect you with Spurs fan. Appreciate it. I'm about to get your info, Matthew, from Sam, so let's do meetup.
That's awesome.
I will
this
be the
is
middleman
exactly
there.
what I want.
No worries. Always enjoy sitting in, chatting with y'all. Have a great day. You the same. Vanessa says, enjoy the rest of your day. And you the same, Vanessa. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. We are going to get out of here. We're going to forego doing our lightning round that we usually do, but we'll pick that up on our next one as soon as we can. But we do have to get out of here.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.
Bye. You all right, puppers? I think I made...
Wow, we were really behind.
Yeah. I was like, we've
It's
got to
taken
end.
a long time to catch up.
I was like, we've got to...
Oh, it's because we weren't at the end.
Okay.
Okay, we're ending now. Bye-bye.